if I give a little bit introduction about all the people who are currently there in the session, and this is for all the people, and there are 2-3 more students who will be joining as of now. So I have Vimal, who is a very close friend of mine. He has pursued his MBA from SP Jain and then currently working at a top corporate. Then I have Rudra, who has recently scored 99.66 percentile in this year itself. Then Gaurav, who has been amazing with his scores and converted SIBM Pune. Archie, who is again someone can inspire you a lot because she was working while she was preparing and then cracked that and now going to XLRI Delhi. Then Rushikesh, he has converted IIM Bangalore. He is someone who scored probably 60 percentile last year and this year going to IIM Bangalore. Then we have Gunjan, currently she's with IIM Lucknow. Again, she prepared with her job. And Rajesh, his interview went viral on my platform. Someone who scored 40 percentile and this year got 99.40. So there are people who are the best of the minds you can think, and probably you want to listen a lot of things. Before I begin, and I would like all of you to give your inputs. And these are the students. Probably you all were there just a year before, or probably 2-3 years before. And Aditi, right? Aditi, how was your NMAT? She is currently doing her master from NMIMS Mumbai, which is again one of the dream college of a lot of students. काफी सारे बच्चे आते हैं कि सर हमें ना सिर्फ NMAT snap करना, we are not targeting any other college. So yeah, मतलब what I want to understand from all of you before I give you the baton for today's session, and I'm pretty much sure that you guys are going to bomb with a lot of questions. So sorry for that in advance. But मतलब how does it feel? How does it feel to win this league of top institutes, top corporate? Like, do you think that this is surreal? Well, like when you see your scores, the jobs you are working, probably 4 or 5 years before, when you had the first thought that I want to go for my master's, do you really think this is what you were looking for? Anyone like? So we can hear from Ruth probably first.
Yeah, it is pretty much surreal. Like when I first saw my scorecard, as I've already mentioned in my refresh the page like 4 or 5 times to make sure that okay, I am the one who scored 99.66 percentile. So yeah, it is surreal. It is surreal.
Great. Anurag sir also joined. Great. So what about you, Rushikesh? IIM Bangalore it is.
It's really it's amazing experience, sir. Everything I had put together, all those hard works, those night outs. I mean, for study, of course, and a lot of things. I studied from home. I have a very small home, but in that also I adjusted. There were a lot of clothes here and there, so it's as like there was no such a special study room out there. But still, if all is well, if ends well, we say that no. So everyone is happy, and I think this is the gateway to change everything which happened in my past. So it's the best moment. It feels like on the top of the edge. Thank you.
So today the session is very interesting for all of you because this is the first time when I invited people who would be joining a top MBA college this year. And there are people who are currently in the top MBA college. And then there are people who have already completed their MBA. And then we will discuss what is life after graduated from a top B school. So Vimal might share something on that. How's life after SP Jain and how's life like before and after? How is it?
Thanks for making me feel old, Saurabh, in this room. That's one. The other thing is, guys, after MBA, I think more taxes, more work. that's the first thing. No, I think you'll get to get your dream job, hopefully. So Saurabh knows me. I was a little confused between marketing and consulting, and so what MBA did for me, it got me into sales. So I came to my calling after doing my MBA. I realized that I am made for sales. I wanted to be a consultant. That's the first thing that everybody wants to do when they get into an MBA. But then I realized I can do sales better. And so one of the things that sort of my key takeaway was that you get to know yourself and you're there right now. And under all that pressure, you know that, hey, you know what, this is what I want to do after my MBA. And I want to probably do it for the next 10 to 15 years of my professional life. So I think that's the biggest takeaway. It might sound a little philosophical right now, but then even if the job pays you the most in the world, if you're not happy, you're not happy. So I think that's one thing, Saurabh. So you get to know what your interest area is, and then again, more taxes, more work. Not scaring
Probably,
anyone.
I believe that all the panelists would also learn a lot from you today. But going back to Gunjan, you have completed your 1 year in IIM Lucknow. How does it feel? How is the feeling with IIM Lucknow, studying with best of minds, and now you are interning probably which company you are interning with?
PNG.
PNG, which is the largest, one of the largest FMCG company in this world. How the life changed before IIM Lucknow and after IIM Lucknow?
Well, before my life was kind of very set. I had a 9 to 5 job. I knew what the day entailed. But then I also knew that I do not wish to do this for the rest of my life. I started preparing for CAT. And when I joined MBA, people were telling me, like, your personal life will suffer, everything will change. And I was not expecting that to happen to that level to which it happened. And the first month, we could not, like all of us, we could not even find time to breathe for even, for hours. And we used to sleep for 4 hours, maybe maximum. And that was like a good, length of sleep that we used to get. And then we kind of, just grew into it. And now that I'm in the internship, it's kind of a little better. But, the college will again be the same. So that's how it is so far.
And how is it going with PNG? How is the experience as of now?
Experience is really good. One thing that I realized that there's so much to learn. There's so much that I actually don't know. And, studies prepare you for a lot of theoretical part, but the application is something that you learn in the internship itself. And sometimes I feel like, it's 2 months. And sometimes I feel like 2 months is quite less for me to learn so much. So 1 month into the internship, I am still, navigating new things.
This is one thing which I can also resonate, because I am just in process of wrapping up with my masters, and I have been on my toes for the last few months, because recording videos to taking classes to doing case studies, submissions, then you have to socialize as well, and then at the same time, so I can probably resonate that how it is. But I believe this is what we all signed up for, and probably this is going to give us a lot of ROI. There's a very special person in this conversation, Rajesh, because Rajesh, you are someone with whom a lot of people are going to relate today. Someone who scored 40 percentile CAT-21, right? तो यहाँ पे बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जिन्होंने rejoin किया है, correct? And these students have rejoined with the hope कि यार हम लोग भी वो score card दे सकते हैं. But did you have that belief कि यार मेरा 40 आया, उसके बाद most of the students who talk to me, they are like कि सर हमारा CAT तो नहीं होने वाला, what should we do? And then you just raise the bar, right? So how is the feeling? How did you do this?
So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me here. And first of all, I would like to say that please believe in the process, because I heard MS Dhoni once after my CAT that result doesn't matter, but the process does. If you're right with the process, so you will eventually get your result. So in 2021, there were many mistakes on my part. Like I was focusing more on question solving. Like I was, मतलब होता है ना कि रट्टा मार लेना कि question ऐसे ऐसे होता है. So that was my major, backdrop. Then in 2022, I completely changed that, turn it around. That I thought that fine, I need to build the concepts, and post to which I will see that whether I can solve the questions or not. And eventually it kicked. So what I would like to say all my fellow juniors who are here is that please keep believing in yourself. Please do dream. Dreams do come true. There is nothing that which you can dream and cannot be true. So please keep dreaming, and please have this thing in you. Like, when I went to CAT, I always had this belief in me that I can do everything. Even I cannot, but still I am saying to myself that I can do everything. So in the CAT paper, always I started with a question that is a sitter, or like which I can do very well. So first I did that. It was like, okay, the first ball was not a yorker and I'm good. So I can play the other balls well. So it was kind of that mindset matters a lot in CAT specifically. So I would like to say, and especially when there is a time crunch, like 2 hours is a very, once the train is derailed, it is derailed forever. Your 1 year is wasted there. So that is one thing which is very crucial with CAT, and I believe that the juniors will obviously do better than me, of course, in the exam, and that is what I hope for and pray for.
Great, more people have also joined, and I will just give you an introduction to all the people who are listening. Mansi has just joined, Sunishta has joined. So Sunishta is another inspiration for all of us. She was last year our Achievers Batch student, got somewhere around 70 percentile. This year she has nailed CAT with 99.29, having calls from all the top IIMs. And then Mansi, XLRI Jamshedpur, about to join. Great. My alma mater, you will going to take the baton, right? So Nishta, how was your journey? How was it?
It was filled with it was first of all a big surprise to me to get 99. It was not something I imagined, but it was full of hard work and just a feeling that I wouldn't give up. I didn't know, like I didn't know before actually getting my scorecard that I would be getting even 95 plus. But I had this thing in mind that no matter what happens, I won't give up. This attempt has to be my best attempt, and I guess the rest is history.
Great, yeah. Mansi, how's the feeling coming very soon to college?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's quite, exciting to be joining XLRI Jamshedpur. And the journey was full of ups and downs, and starting from not getting good marks in CAT. Now I'm seeing that 99 percentilers are here at the moment, and I failed terribly at my CAT attempt. Then starting again for ZAT and then nailing it in ZAT. So the journey has been, quite tremendous and difficult as well.
Great. So coming to Gaurav, I remember, everyone who is there, I received one LinkedIn message from Gaurav that, okay, I want to talk, I want to tell something and something on those lines, right? And then he suddenly shared that I have scored 99.49 in SNAP, converted SCHM RD. Then after a few days, he pinged me on LinkedIn, sir, I have also converted SIBM Pune. That was very interesting, Gaurav. How was your journey?
सर फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल थैंक्स टू यू लाइक पिछले 2 साल से आपको फॉलो कर रहे हैं एंड आपको वॉइस ओवर ही सुन रहे हैं तो फर्स्ट टाइम वी गॉट टू सी यू पर्सनली मी तो बहुत बढ़िया लग रहा है एंड जर्नी बहुत ही लाइक उतार चढ़ाव की रही है बिकॉज आई एम नॉट वेरी एकेडमिकली साउंडेड जैसे बहुत सारे प्रोडिजीज हैं मुझे यहाँ दिख रहे हैं मैं बिल्कुल उनमें से नहीं हूँ सो मेरी जर्नी 2021 में स्टार्ट हुई तो लाइक MBA करना ये पहले से श्योर नहीं था बट कुछ बड़ा करना ये था और to be precise MTech करना ऐसा कुछ था I was very sure that I have to go for MTech because mechanical engineering है but first year में when I started my YouTube channel आज 11 के सब्सक्राइबर्स हैं तो साथ में फ्रीलांसिंग किया कंटेंट राइटिंग किया रिसर्च पेपर लिखे 25-30 एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज में पार्ट लिया जीता तो उस समय समझ आया कि नहीं मेरा फोटे इंजीनियरिंग तो नहीं है थोड़ा बहुत मैनेजमेंट की तरफ हो सकता है उसके बाद गेट कैट इन दोनों में काफी डिलेमा था तो 4th ईयर पूरा वैसे निकल गया देन 2021 के स्टार्टिंग में स्टार्ट किया एंड हाँ मेहनत करी एंड जैसे कि मैं बताता हूँ एक्चुअली जेन्युइनली मैं बहुत एवरेज हूँ एकेडमिकली क्योंकि पिछले 2 साल में 25 से ज्यादा कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जामिनेशंस आई हैव सक्सेसफुली फेल्ड जिसमें कैट जैट एनमैट स्नैप IFT टिसनेट SRCC PBO JBMS MHRD एंड SSC CGL CHSL बैंकिंग के गिन लो सब सो इट टुक जैसे मैंने स्टार्ट किया इट टुक अ लॉट ऑफ परसिवियरेंस क्योंकि इतना हारने के बाद लाइफ में बड़ा सोचने की हिम्मत छूट जाती है तो उसमें मैं अपने पेरेंट्स को बहुत ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूशन देना चाहूंगा सर बिकॉज मेरे पिताजी माय फादर गॉट रिटायर्ड वो रिटायर हो चुके हैं तो 25 किलोमीटर लेके जाना एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर में 25 किलोमीटर साथ में आना एंड सेंटर के अंदर जाना अलाउ नहीं करते तो 4 घंटे खड़े रहना सेंटर के बाहर तो हम सबका पेरेंट्स का कंट्रीब्यूशन बहुत ज्यादा है आज हमारी सक्सेस में तो ये तो एक हमारे पेरेंट्स के लिए है ही बट हाँ मेरे तरफ से क्लैरिटी ये बहुत अच्छी थी कि MBA करना है तो टॉप 20 से ही करना है नहीं तो MBA नहीं करना है लाइक मैं 30 की उम्र में MBA करूंगा लाइक 10-15 हजार की जॉब कर लूंगा मुझे दिक्कत नहीं है लेकिन MBA के बाद मुझे ब्रांडेड लाइफ चाहिए ये बहुत अच्छी क्लैरिटी थी एंड इस क्लैरिटी को तोड़ने के लिए आगे पीछे लोग भी बहुत थे लाइक जो भैया दीदी है जिन्होंने बहुत एवरेज कॉलेज से पढ़ाई करी है तो उनका क्लैरिटी था कि यार जो अच्छा मिल रहा है चले जाओ तो आपको एक बाउंड्रीज भी सेट करनी पड़ती है अपने लिए तो बस ऐसा था एंड फिर परसेंटाइल आया तो बिलीव तो नहीं हुआ बट जब परसेंटाइल आ गया तो फिर क्लैरिटी था कि GDPI अपन निकाल लेंगे अपना फोटे वही है सो वहां पे कोई दिक्कत नहीं हुई पहले SMHRD कन्वर्ट हुआ SIBM पुणे पे वेट लिस्टेड था 18 नंबर पे फिर आपसे पूछा आपसे गाइडेंस मिला देन SIBM पुणे भी हो गया तो बस
Good. Yeah. Aditi, how has been your experience at NM? Because NM is one college which a lot of people target, right? And that comes in the flagship college. NMS Mumbai is the dream college of a lot of people. But do you think it is worth it after a year?
It's definitely worth it. And first of all, I want to share one thing. I have booked my examination for 7 o'clock. I thought it was 7 p.m. But somehow it was 7 a.m. And when I get up in the morning, my email showed that you have successfully given your examination with 0 marks. So there was no chance I was getting into NM, and I don't have clarity. Us समय तक हो चुका था, only one attempt is possible. So I thought, let's give another try. Maybe they will not consider, maybe they will consider. So somehow I got good marks and it converted. It was my luck that, yeah, they considered it, but that was a big fuck up. Now coming to how is my life at NM? NM life is crazy. We don't have a campus, but people stay at each other's houses for like whole day, whole night. They don't give a damn. And about studies, you get to learn more from your peers, I feel. That's definitely there. You make different plans like, okay, after NM, we will do this business. You will learn a lot. You will discuss a lot of things in college with your friends that you cannot get anywhere else. I feel that is the one big learning, that yes, you can learn a lot from others just talking to them. So this is what NM gives me, and as a personality, it will give a lot of changes in you. So it's a great experience.
Great. And now we are having someone very special whom I interviewed yesterday only, Archie. And she is someone, and I believe a lot of students can relate to you, because there are a lot of people who are working and उनका सिर्फ एक ही question होता है, sir job के साथ हम कर ही नहीं सकते. And you are someone who has been working. And I give you a very interesting example of Archie, because most of the times we talk about stories where people rise from 40 to 99. We discuss about stories where Sunishta has risen from 70 to 99. We have someone who has learned from a mistake. She got the best score in her first attempt, and now finally somehow she got through that, and she's like, okay, finally the journey is done. So Archie, what is your experience? How did you manage? And what are your 2 cents for all the students?
Yeah, I think the funniest thing that everyone is going to remember is how I scored a 97 in my first attempt and a 92 in my second attempt, when I had explicitly worked even harder. But I think I learned my lessons from CAT and performed better at SAT. So I would say, like adding on to what Saurabh said about how we manage it with work, I would say that it is quite a task. I always thought that it won't be that big of a deal, but to stay consistent with the process, to make sure that you're taking out equal time for yourself, for your studies, and you're performing well at your job as well, because I feel even that's important for your growth. It's quite a task. So one thing that really helped me was to maintain a schedule. I mean, I am a very organized person and I keep my studies to be very structured. I would like get up and maintain a spreadsheet to just note down things that I have to cover in the entire day, and I just wouldn't give up until I'm done with my tasks. Sometimes you do have to take it easy on yourself, but I think just keeping a very structured approach to your preparation is something that really helps. And again, just one thing that I think I'm taking away from CAT is just being consistent with your preparation. So how I managed it was, I am not a morning person. So the sacrifice that I did for CAT was that I had to wake up early, and I made sure that I'm giving a couple of hours in the morning itself, so that I'm not exhausted after my job when I'm preparing. So I mean, I would just sum it up in this way, that you just have to look at the rosy picture of what it's going to be, how the outcome is going to look like, which keeps you motivated, and just keep going at it and stay consistent with the process.
Great, and it's such a nice feeling to connect and talk all of you. And I want all of you to introduce you to someone who has raised the bar in our institute as well, and someone whom I also admire a lot. So Aditya has also joined. He's last year our topper, scored 99.92 in CAT, and currently he's doing his masters from IIM Bangalore. And welcome Aditya to the conversation. Thank you so much for joining on such a short notice.
Hello sir, thank you.
How are you doing? How is the internship going?
It's going good. A bit hectic for now.
Yeah. Where are you interning, Aditya?
EY Parthenon.
Oh, nice. Great. So Aditya is there, who is someone who again cracked CAT along with his job. I remember he was working till 8 p.m. and then got this score. So all the people who are there on board, Aditya, how is your life before and after IIM Bangalore? So we were just having an introduction with all of us, and then I will just open the floor for the audience so that they can ask their questions.
Yeah, so there are a lot of changes like going through an MBA. So initially, like we used to think we'll get into the college, do some studies, do some case studies, and get into some good companies. But there is a lot more to MBA when we see the interactions that we have with our peers and the things that are outside the classroom. Those are the ones that we actually learn from. So that is the best part of an MBA, and that is the part that is developing the personalities the most.
Yeah. One question I want to ask all of you who are currently doing their masters. This particularly goes for Aditi, Gunjan, and SP Jain, Vimal. Do you guys get to sleep? This is the first question. Once you enter into MBA, because I don't know, but I sleep straight for 6-7 hours every day till today. So is this a myth or is this a reality that you don't get time to sleep? How do you survive?
So we say sleep, social, and study. You can only do any of these two things. You cannot do all three. So maybe Saurabh sir, you already know all the stuff about study. That's why you're able to manage other two. But if we want to do all three, then we have to sacrifice the sleep at least.
Aditya, how is it? How much have you slept in the last 1 year?
Yeah, I mean, that is correct. If you cannot do everything, you have to sacrifice something. So you will get time to sleep if you just want to do one or the other thing. But if you want to study well and interact with everyone and enjoy all the things outside the classroom as well, then you'll have to sacrifice on sleep.
What about you, Gunjan? Is this
I already answered. I sleep very less. Like I sleep for less than 5 hours some days. And yeah, I agree with all of the people that have spoken so far that you have to sacrifice on one or the other things. And sometimes I choose not to go to a networking thing and then just choose sleep over it. But it's in the end your choice. You can choose to sleep well, also study also, but you'll have to sacrifice on something in the end. So sleep is actually something that will be affected for sure.
Vimal, what about you? Like I have a detailed question for you before MBA, after MBA, and now during the job. How is the experience?
So I think let's start with the sleep question. So when you pay like 20 lakhs of fees, you won't sleep for sure. You have competition. So no, the guys, just kidding. I mean, everybody has put in so much of efforts. Once they enter into an institution, I think the energy is different. So even if you are a person who loves to sleep, you would see a lot of people, a lot of hustle going on in and around you. So you won't sleep. Like you have that extra energy. And I'm sure everybody who's there on the campus would agree to this. There's a vibe to it. Like you want to network, you want to speak to people. There are going to be some boring lectures where you would sleep in the class. I'm sure Saurabh must be doing that. Not telling here. But there are going to be some sessions, professors, classes that you won't enjoy and you would get your sleep here and there. So that's the whole thing about MBA, right? You get to manage your time. And like everybody's saying, you can't do everything, each and everything that you've been doing. So you would take out some time for sleeping. There are going to be times when you are just going to pass out, okay? There are going to be times when you study so much and there's so much that you sleep for the next 6 to 7 hours straight. Saurabh is a superhuman, so I don't know if he sleeps for like 6 to 7. I've known this guy for like 5 years, approximately 10 years now. So he's someone who can give up on sleep. I was a very sleepy person. Like I need my 8 hours of sleep, but then you get that energy. And coming to your question, Saurabh, I think pre-MBA, I was there with Ernst & Young. Both of us were working together. So there was always this thing that I had to do my master's. I have to study with the best minds in the country. So that was during the MBA, I used to enjoy my conversations. Like I never enjoyed stats. I never enjoyed cons, but I used to enjoy off sessions like spirituality or leadership, or there are going to be sessions for marketing. So case studies as well. So that I enjoyed. Now post MBA, I think one of the things that you would do is miss your MBA days for sure. So guys, enjoy. Everybody who's there in the campus, like make it, like enjoy it to the fullest. Second thing, I think you would enjoy those sleepless days because that was the most fun that you had. Now coming back to corporate, there's going to be a grind. Of course, there are perks of doing an MBA. Sort of, you would agree on this. You get to travel the world. So if you have a job that keeps, and if you are someone who wants to pack their bags and travel, you would get to travel a lot. Then, of course, like I said, monetary benefits are there. You would enjoy a higher income than you were making before MBA. That's there. And then you would also get the respect that you're looking for. So if you have that brand name behind you, I'm not saying that's the only thing, your character matters a lot. But then if you have that brand name, people would come up to you, would look up to you, would ask you questions. So I think that's post MBA, and especially when you get your dream job. So that's gonna be my not so short answer to your pre, during, and post.
So one anecdote I would like to add here is that as I have told to all my students always that I have slept for 6 straight hours every day. But I can tell you one thing, and that I remember because I have calendar in front of me. In the last 1 year, there are just 6 days when I shut off my lights and went for sleep. Else all the other days I have just slept. I don't know when. Then I woke up after 6 hours. So I'm like sleeping at I don't know what time. The laptop is on most of the days. Either I'm doing something or studying a case is there, and then I wake up and then I see, oh, it's 7 a.m. That's okay. That's the right thing. That I believe that Aditi has very beautifully mentioned in 3 words: study, social, or what was the third word? Sleep. So you can choose any 2 of them. Great. That is a great thing. And Anubhav sir is there. We all have been working very hard. So Anubhav sir, your point before I open up the floor for everyone, all the students, and they will just grade us. So in the meantime, when I'm asking, and there are more than 200 students who want to listen, we have the final guest for the day, Akash, who has joined. He is currently pursuing his master's with me only with XLRI Jamshedpur, and currently working with one of the dream companies, which is MBB. So Akash, we were just introducing all the people are there. How is your life before XLRI and after XLRI? And now with MBB.
Hey everyone.
So all the students who are there, just a second, MBB are 3 words which are very popular once you enter into MBA. I don't know for what reason, but everyone talks about MBBs. So Akash, how is it for you?
Hey everyone. Sorry for joining late, first of all. So yeah, pretty happy to be here on the panel. Currently, I'm pursuing my business management course from XLRI Jamshedpur. Post that, I have worked 2 years at ZS, and before that, I'm a commerce graduate from Delhi University. So just a brief about my profile. Currently, I'm interning with one of the MBB firms. So yeah, pretty good exposure to be here. Apart from that, guys, one thing which I will say is that once you join one of the B schools, it will drastically change your life. So put all your efforts like during 9-10 odd months that are left, and yeah, things will be pretty good after that.
One thing I really admire about Akash that he's also I don't know whether I should tell or not, but he's also a place comber. So मैं कभी भी गया हूँ ना कैंपस में, रात चाहे वो दिन के 3 बज रहे हो, चाहे रात के 3 बज रहे हो, सुबह के 2 बज रहे हो, he is one guy who will always see him around, roaming around, talking over call with one or the other company, and then excelling at everything. It's commendable. So that was great. Thank you so much for introducing. And now, because as we all are aware that we are having a lot of CAT and MBA aspirants who are this year, all the students are preparing and planning to appear for this year itself. So my agenda for today is that you can, so I and Anubhav sir always keep on discussing that how to excel and how can they go about their preparation. But sometimes they want to hear straight from the horse's mouth, and you guys are the inspiration behind all of them. So I would like to understand from each one of you, what are your takes, how to go for these exams. There are people who have cracked CAT but screwed up in other exams. There are people who have screwed CAT but got into XLRI, Jamshedpur, Delhi. There are people who did not focus much on CAT and ZAT, but appeared and cracked NMIMS, SNAP, which is another MBA college. There are people who have done their job, then cracked it, then people who have got less percentile last year. So you will all have those insights, which might be very, very inspirational, helpful for all the students who are listening to you. So it would be great that one by one, if you all can share your strategy, how can they go about this exam? Because there are a lot of students, if I tell you their challenges, because मैं हर दिन इन लोगों से बात कर रहा हूँ, so उनके कुछ major challenges है कि हमें confidence नहीं आ रहा, हमारे मॉक में कम नंबर आ रहे हैं, वी आर डीमोटिवेटेड, वी डोंट नो हाउ टू कोप अप विद इट, जॉब के साथ हम लोग प्रिपेयर नहीं कर पा रहे, कैट और जैट तो मेरे से होगा ही नहीं, ठीक है, मैं तो अलग अदर एग्जाम्स देखूंगा, जैट तो बिल्कुल ही टारगेट नहीं करना है, दैट इज इवन आउट ऑफ द समथिंग, कैट में 99 आएगा नहीं, लास्ट ईयर हमारा कम आया है, दिस ईयर वी आर टेकिंग अ ड्रॉप, आई डोंट नो हाउ टू गो अबाउट इट, एंड जॉब के साथ कैसे मैनेज करना है, देयर आर सम अदर क्वेश्चंस अलोंग विद दैट कि प्रोफाइल बिल्डिंग करनी चाहिए साथ में कि नहीं करनी चाहिए, हाउ रेलेवेंट इट इज ड्यूरिंग योर एमबीए. So I know that you all have taken out precious time, and thank you so much again that you all have joined this session, sharing your insights without getting anything in return. But it is, trust me, this is very inspirational for all of these students. And starting from Aditya, how did you pursue your journey about CAT? How would you like to just summarize it and give your 2 cents to everyone who is going to appear for CAT this year?
So I think it is more about following a process which is suitable for you. So everyone has like different time that they can give to the exam, to the mocks and the preparation. So according to that, just set up a process and follow it regularly. Like there are 3 sections, so just break down what you are good at and what needs to be prepared. According to that, set a plan and just keep giving mocks so that you know where you stand at each point of time. Target all the sections like according to your capability. Like for me, VARC was my weakest section. So in my first attempt, I just left it aside and focused on LRDI and quants. So I got a good score in both, but VARC was not so good, so I didn't get a good college. So the next time that I gave CAT, I focused more on it. So just don't run away from the sections that you're weak at and focus on everything. And just follow the process and keep giving mocks. That will help the preparation.
What should be the pattern for mock analysis?
Mock analysis, what I followed was like I divided the questions into different categories and different topics. And for each topic, I kept noting down how much I got correct and how many questions I'm skipping. So I had the data like which section, which topics I'm improving and which topics I'm not improving on. So if you keep that data with you and study it properly, you can like know the topics that you're weak at. This will help you prepare those topics in detail.
Aditya, there is one question from someone, Harshit, how much you scored with in verbal section. And verbal is one domain area जहाँ पे verbal and LRDI people are struggling too much with it. Either verbal or LRDI की नहीं होगा, या तो उनका LRDI में set नहीं बन रहा, या उनका RC correct नहीं हो रहा. दोनों किसी का एक साथ सही नहीं जा रहा है. So how to?
दोनों मतलब अलग अलग देखोगे, अलग अलग से प्रिपेयर करोगे. एग्जाम में भी यही होता है. वर्बल इज द फर्स्ट सेक्शन, तो अगर if that goes wrong, so it affects LRD and points as well. So that I learned from my first attempt that this should not happen. So verbal, I don't remember exactly how much I scored in all the sections, but what I focused was on accuracy, because negative marks is like just they take away your percentile very quickly. So if you know the answer, just mark it and don't go for guessing. So that helped me. And RCs just read a lot of essays, so that helps you gain insights into different domains. If you have an idea of different domains, there will be nothing surprising in the exam. So this is one thing that I followed, and I exactly don't remember my scores now, so sorry for that.
Then Aditya, after you, I would like to move to Rudra, because there are a lot of people who have re-attempted CAT, but he's one guy who has scored this score in the very first attempt. And I have taken his a lot of his mock interviews, and he's someone who is doing a lot of things, like probably from playing guitar to singing to, he told me something he's doing early. So he's having a schedule of waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going for some boxing, some Thai martial art, and then doing simultaneously parallel things. How did you manage your CAT journey, Rudra? And this was your very first attempt, right?
Yeah, Saurabh, this was my very first attempt, and it was very difficult to manage everything. Like, you know, there is a lot going on in my life, like you mentioned, and I heard Archie mention something along the lines of following a schedule, and I believe, and I'm a strong believer in schedules. Like, if I was not following a schedule, I don't think I could have done even 10% of what I have been able to do in this meantime. So yeah, following a schedule is very crucial, and everyone should make a schedule at least. And following it is anything. And the way I always advise people who are new to making schedules is that, first of all, just write 3 key tasks that you got to do in your day, and then put 2 alarms, one for 4 p.m. and another one for 10 p.m. and ask yourself that how is your progress going once the alarm goes off, right? So this would be one way to go about it. And other than that, following your hobbies is very important, because it keeps you sane, to be very honest. And me having a lot of hobbies, for example, kickboxing, Muay Thai, singing and playing guitar. I'm a state level guitarist and yeah, state singer. Besides, so all of them I have to keep alongside, because if I'm not doing one thing on a single day, I just feel like, okay, I could have done this. I could have, shifted some of the things in my schedule. For example, I wouldn't have watched that one episode from House of Lies, and I could have, managed to play my guitar or sing or something like that. So yeah, following a schedule is very important. And besides that, I tailored my CAT journey in order to minimize the time that I'm spending on preparing and maximize the results that I'll be getting. And the way I managed to do that was having a mock-centric approach that I mentioned earlier in our interview. And I started my CAT preparation by giving 5 mocks. And from those mocks, I realized what the syllabus is. I did not see what the syllabus is actually. I saw, okay, I have given these 5 mocks. Now, what is the recurring pattern when it comes to quants, for example? I saw that, okay, arithmetic has an unequivocally high weightage when it comes to the real deal. And the return on investment on number system is not as much. So even to this day, if you're going to ask me a question on number system, I'll not be able to answer it. If you're going to ask me a question on probability, I'll not be able to answer it, because I know it is the return on investment on that is not that high. But when it comes to arithmetic, I believe that I can answer most of your questions on that part. So yeah, have a mock-centric approach. I mean, deconstruct everything that you're doing. Even if it is your life, then deconstruct the time that you have got in your life. For example, if your waking hours are from 7 to 9, then deconstruct all those hours and prioritize what you have to do in your day and schedule your day accordingly. So yeah, that'll be my approach for that.
Great, great. Rajesh, moving to you. You are someone probably who can shed a lot of inspiration, but वो inspiration अभी आ रहा है because you have scored this 99.4. But at that point when you scored 40, how did you plan your journey? कि यार मुझे verbal अब कैसे deal करना है? Because now you told me that फिर मैंने ये सोच लिया कि मुझे अपना process ठीक करना है. But how? The question is कि यार मेरा verbal weak है, मुझे score दिख रहा है, and I saw your scorecard. You scored negative in LRDI. Like literally, he scored negative in LRDI and 0 marks in one of the section, right? If I'm not wrong. And then from rising, how do you like channelize that negative energy into the translation and then showing it in the actual results?
So first of all, thank you so much, sir. So I would like to say that this process change, this thing, that mindset which developed in me was kind of very natural from within. Like I felt this, that it was very rigorous on my part and I was very harsh on my part to solve all the questions, trying to do each and everything that is in the syllabus, but understanding nothing. So then I understood, then I went back and then I thought, do I know the formulas of successive discount very properly? And I discovered myself कि यार successive discount का formula नहीं आता, क्या ही crack करेगा? Not possible. So then I went back and said कि no, I will do all the basics from the books, even examples and all. So from there I developed this mindset कि you have to be on the basics, and this helped me a lot. Like I cracked SSC CGL 2022. I also cracked TISNET 2023, which happened here, and also the CAT. So this has helped me a lot, because if you are very focused with the basics, because and one more thing I would like to shed upon that, as Rudra said, that you have to follow your hobbies, right? Because for my case, what happened in 2021, I was not going to some weddings, or let's say some some birthday parties even. So that was adding much pressure on me, because I was thinking that, okay, fine, I'm sacrificing this for CAT. But then again, in the subconscious mind, it was creating a pressure on me that if now see, I'm not going there, I have to score well. So this is one thing which is very bad on a student's part. So I would like to say that please focus on your concept building, focus on your basics, never miss that, because in the exam, 99.99% chances the questions you haven't ever seen before. So obviously, if your basics are not strong, then you cannot even crack this examination. If I would like to come via section by section, so I would like to say that VRC is something which first of all, I don't, my fellow juniors are here who are maybe from some Hindi medium schools. So first of all, I too don't believe even कि convent school people may have some advantage in language, but then often they're not, they are not the pros in this section. So if you are well with the A1 essays, which I read Delhi, even during the playoffs at Eden Gardens in 2022, I remember during the innings break also I read an essay. So that was the consistency which I maintained. So if you read your A1 essays well, practice your parajumbles well, because I still, even today, I do parajumbles and A1 essays. So that is a habit which is being inculcated in you. And also I would like to say for quants, the basics are important. Follow the LOD1, LOD2 questions. LOD3 you can skip. And for DILR, I would like to say that start from the basics, because सर के इंटरव्यू में भी मैंने बोला था कैट के दिन सुबह, because I was having afternoon slot, तो मैंने ना बस 3 मैट्रिक्स के LR किए थे, मतलब इतना बेसिक था. Color, I remember color, place, and the man, PQRST. It was like that. So it was giving a confidence in me, because I also know कि इसके आसपास भी कोई question नहीं आएगा CAT में. But still, it was a confidence game. So I would like to say CAT is something which you have to carry a lot of confidence within you, and then you have to approach this exam. Otherwise, if you are someone who is very scared to go there and approach this exam, then I think your game is done even before you sit on your system.
Great. And when you're talking about consistency, and I would like to move to Archie from here, that see what happens, and ये सारा सारे aspirants का question है. देखो हम लोग को पता है कैसे कर रहा है, but वो consistency लाना is very difficult. And when you are a working professional, when sometimes there are situations जब आप mentally करना चाहते हो, mock mentally पढ़ना चाहते हो, but physically you are completely fatigued, you are tired, you cannot do it, right? तो उन situation में what should be the idea? Because to maintain consistency for a week is still possible, but to maintain the same consistency for possible an year is very difficult. So how did you make sure that you are consistent enough in your whole journey, and then seeing that okay, ये मेरा score नहीं भी आया, then again remaining that consistent in your ZAT as well? So Archie, that is very important because lot of working professionals are here as of now.
Okay, so I think I did exactly what Rajesh just mentioned, that skipping all my social life events, just doing nothing. Like my life literally had nothing when I was preparing for CAT. It was just working for 8 hours and studying for 6 hours. That's all that my life had. So that did put a lot of pressure on me, but of course it helped me be consistent with the process, because of course if you follow a schedule for some days, it becomes your habit. Any day if I'm not studying, I felt like my day is incomplete. So I did do that, but I got that learning from CAT and I improved that in that itself. So I think all credit that I give to is how I managed my schedule and how I would give time to everything. So preparing a schedule or preparing a to-do list is not just about putting pressure on yourself that you do every task, but you are also like supposed to include time for your relaxation, for you to energize yourself so that you can study even further. So you know how you work out, they say that it's important to take one day off because it would help you enhance your preparation further. So if you feel like you need one day off, or if you need an hour every day to just chill, relax, so you need to allocate time to that as well, so it won't feel like a burden to yourself. So I would say that if you're burdening yourself, it would become really tough to be consistent with the process, but you have to be wise with how you're preparing your schedule. You need to give time to everything. Like for Rudra, it was guitar, and for me, it was just dance. So while I was preparing for that, I made sure that I'm doing things that I enjoy. So if you are giving time to everything that you need to be at your maximum, you need to do that. So it won't feel like a burden, but it will help you be consistent and enhance your preparation further.
Great, thank you so much. Akash, moving on the same lines, like I remember your CAT probably was not to that expectation, and then moving to ZAT, and ZAT is an exam which is comparatively little different from CAT. You have to deal with DM, then even vocabularies is there, then even in RC the pattern is something different. So how did you make sure that यार CAT में मेरा शायद वो respective score नहीं बनाया जो भी है, and then you channelize that energy कि यार मुझे ZAT निकालना है, because there is just 1 month and there is a notion around the world that ZAT is probably the most difficult exam. So how to deal with that thing and your 2 cents, because I believe I remember you like prepared for long time before, then you started working. You also have a very different journey. So like what is your complete experience about this whole preparation journey?
Yeah, basically to give you some context to the audience here, I appeared for a CAT, didn't converted my Dream B school in that particular attempt, took a year break, worked in a consulting firm, and post that I tried again. And in the next year, my CAT was not that good. So my thought process was very simple. You just need one good day for one good exam. And apart, after that, things will be sorted. So you need broadly 2 things: one good day with a one good exam and a one good interview. That's all. Your life is sorted. You don't need n number of good exams. Obviously, that is something which is like cherry on the cake. But to get into your Dream B school, you just need one good exam. And that was my thought process. Once I was not able to do well on that particular day on the CAT, my thought process was very simple. I have 2 big exams coming in the next 1 month, which was IIFT and ZAT, and I need to put in all my efforts. So at the end of the day, if you put all your efforts and still things don't go in your way, I think post that you're not answerable to anyone. But till the time things are under your control, and if you don't do things 100% from your side, you are answerable to yourself first. And that was my thought process, that I should put in 100% effort in the upcoming 2 exams, and post that I'll see what results I get. So yeah.
Great, great. And adding to that only, Gaurav and Aditi, because NMAT and SNAP are two exams which are comparatively different when you talk about this MBA curriculum, because you see basic LR, you see critical reasoning, and then moving your shift from CAT, ZAT to NMAT and SNAP. Because sometimes what happens ना, हम लोग ये बोलते जरूर हैं कि NMAT और SNAP आसान है CAT के comparison में, but when you see कि आपको 1 hour में 60 क्वेश्चन SNAP में करना है, या फिर आपको NMAT में एक adaptive exam देना है, तब story changes altogether, right? तो ऐसा नहीं है कि 1 hour में 60 क्वेश्चन करना it's easy. It's even difficult when you see CAT versus SNAP. So CAT का difficulty level higher है, but वहाँ पे time भी थोड़ा ज्यादा है. But when you see an exam जहाँ पे आपको 1 year होता है, and you have to attempt all the 60 questions, there is a different strategy which you need to follow. Similarly, when you are dealing with the exam which is comparatively an adaptive exam, जहाँ पे आपको पता ही नहीं next question क्या होगा, आपके कभी-कभी ऐसा भी होता होगा कि next question आपको easy लग रहा है, तो आपके mind में thought आ रहा है, अच्छा मैं गलत ही कर रहा हूँ इसका मतलब, इसलिए मेरे सामने इतने easy questions आ रहे हैं. So Gaurav, what do you think कि how to deal with this exam? Like for example, someone who is not able to, let's say उसका focus ये कि मुझे SIBM या मुझे नारसिमोंजी जाना है, तो what should he follow particularly for SNAP?
सर एक्चुअली लाइक SIBM तो कभी फोकस में था ही नहीं, कैट ही फोकस में था. तो 2021 में जैसे प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट की तो लाइक जितने सारे वेंचर्स आई वाज इनटू सब मैंने छोड़ दिया, एंड दैट वाज वेरी टफ, लिटरली वेरी टफ, बिकॉज मैं उन लोगों में से हूँ जो बैठ नहीं सकता खाली. एंड मेरे लिए सब छोड़ के क्वांट्स LRDI ये सब पढ़ना लाइक मुझे टोटल वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम लग रहा था, और आज भी लगता है. बट वो कहीं ना कहीं सबसे जरूरी पार्ट था लाइफ का कि आज हम यहाँ तक थोड़ा पहुंच पाए. तो सब कुछ छोड़ा एंड प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर द कैट. एंड पहले अटेम्प्ट में ये गलती थी कि मॉक्स बहुत सीरियसली नहीं दिए, सिर्फ आई वाज ऑलवेज इनटू लाइक पढ़ते रहो, एंड मॉक्स से घबराना. एग्जाम में आई स्कोर्ड 66 परसेंटाइल, तो ये ब्लंडर हुआ. देन नेक्स्ट ईयर व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड माय प्रिपरेशन आई वाज वेरी मच लाइक serious regarding the mocks. I gave 40 mocks, and for every mock I used to write down how much I'm getting into like different sections. And but मैं एनालाइज बहुत अच्छे से नहीं करता था, ये मुझे उस जर्नी के दौरान समझ नहीं आया. मार्क्स अगर मैं देखूं तो मॉक्स में थोड़े थोड़े दे वर इंक्रीजिंग, बट ऐसा भी नहीं था कि आई वाज गेटिंग वेरी मच, बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स आ रहे थे. एंड अगेन डी डे पे आई लाइक सकम 78 परसेंटाइल आई स्कोर्ड. वो तो रिजल्ट बाद में आया, बट जब एग्जाम दे के आया तभी समझ में आ गया था कि चीजें गड़बड़ हो गई है. बट प्रिपरेशन इतनी थी, लाइक खुद को इतना घिस दिया था कि स्नैप बहुत इजी पेपर वो बैक ऑफ द माइंड आ ही गया था. तो एक आध ऐसे ही मॉक दे दिया स्नैप के, और कॉन्फिडेंस काफी था कि स्नैप निकल जाएगा. बट ऐसा कभी नहीं था कि निकलेगा ही. लाइक वो इतना बुरा फेस था ना सर, लिटरली, बिकॉज लाइक कुछ होप नहीं था. बस अपना जैसे प्रोसेस की हमने बात की, महेंद्र सिंह धोनी की बात की, तो ऐसा ही कुछ था कि हम पढ़ते जा रहे हैं, एग्जाम्स देते जा रहे हैं, लेट्स सी क्या होता है. एंड बिल्कुल भी लाइट नहीं थे लाइफ में, बहुत सीरियसली लाइक चीजों को कर रहे थे. एंड बट लाइक फिर एक परसेंटाइल आया, तो परसेंटाइल आने के बाद लगा एक्चुअली कि सब कुछ हो गया है. बट SIBM पुणे का लाइक क्राइटेरिया काफी डिफरेंट है. लाइक स्नैप परसेंटाइल के बाद भी इन्होंने 4 स्टेजेस रखे. पहला, इस बार फर्स्ट टाइम इन्होंने गेमिफाइड बैटल कुछ लॉन्च किया, तो वो फर्स्ट टाइम न्यू था हमारे लिए. तो गेमिफाइड बैटल के बाद लाइक ग्रुप एक्सरसाइज, देन बैट, देन पर्सनल इंटरव्यू, वो बहुत एक डिफरेंट जर्नी थी. जनरली बी स्कूल्स में PI होता है और कहीं कहीं एक्सटेम्परी हो जाता है या थोड़ा बैट हो जाता है, बट सारे स्टेजेस को क्लियर करके निकलना वाज वेरी वेरी टफ. लाइक इस बार लाइक अराउंड 70,000 स्टूडेंट्स बैठे थे, और कुछ 2% टॉप 2 परसेंटाइलर्स को ही कॉल दिए. तो 1400 में से 180 या 200 कन्वर्ट करना वाज नॉट वेरी इजी. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि प्रोफाइल बिल्डिंग भी सबको अपने साथ करते रहनी चाहिए. एंड इफ सम पीपल आर इनटू द ग्रेजुएशन, तो बहुत ज्यादा फोकस करना चाहिए, क्योंकि बाद में समय नहीं मिलेगा. लाइक मेरे पास प्रोफाइल बहुत स्ट्रांग थी, तो मुझे लिटरली बहुत ज्यादा एडवांटेज मिला. लाइक मेरे पास, मैं 1 घंटे बात कर सकता हूँ अपने प्रोफाइल के बारे में, और मैं पूरा दिन बात कर सकता हूँ, इतना कुछ है मेरे पास. बस मुझे परसेंटाइल की जरूरत थी. तो अगर आपके पास एक अच्छी प्रोफाइल है तो बाद में चीजें बहुत ईजी हो जाती है. कोई लाइक एकेडमिकली बहुत स्ट्रांग होते हैं, तो उनके लिए लाइक रिटन एग्जाम क्रॉस करना बहुत ईजी रहता है. तो उनके लिए ऑल ऑफ अ डिफरेंट बॉल गेम है. मेरे लिए ऐसा नहीं था. मेरे लिए रिटन एग्जाम एक सरदर्द था, लिटरली सरदर्द था. बट अगर वो निकल जाता तो मेरे लिए पूरा गेम ही मेरे कोट का था. तो मेरी जर्नी कुछ ऐसे थी. So
I will ask few questions on profile building with the people who are currently studying. After Aditi, you answer your NMAT experience, and then probably we will see कि profile का कितना importance है when you sit for internship and placement. And I believe that Aditya, Akash, Gunjan can answer this question very well. But first, to share, how did you manage your strategy for NMAT exam?
So I was also focusing on CAT mostly, but I already scheduled my exam like 10 days after my CAT exam, because you have a window for NMAT. So it will help you have all the concepts ready, but will give you a little time to give mocks. I didn't study for NMAT as such, but start giving mocks the same day I came back from my CAT, because I know it is not going to work. So I studied for NMAT, and NMAT the main thing is how you focus on giving mocks. More or less for everything or every exam, but for NMAT you get to know that yes, it's adaptive and you have to change your strategy as per the thing. Also, you have to see like which section you have to go first, then which section is working next, because you have that flexibility also in NMAT that you can choose your category, that which particular section you want to go ahead with. So all these things you will learn once you get into mocks. So I feel schedule your exam before or after 10 days of CAT. I suggest after 10 days of CAT or 15 days of CAT, give your one mock every day and analyze that mock very carefully, and you will be good to go.
ग्रेट, थैंक यू। आदित्य एक बात बताओ, मतलब ये क्वेश्चन आता है कि ईयर गैप है तो क्या हमें कॉलेज में अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिलेगी क्या इंटर्नशिप की? तो आदित्य एंड आकाश, मतलब ऐसा फर्क पड़ता है? बिकॉज आकाश यू हैव वर्कड इन प्लेसकॉम एंड आदित्य यू आर करेंटली हैविंग बैचमेट्स जिसमें काफी सारे ऐसे लोग होंगे जिन्होंने ईयर ड्रॉप करा होगा। डू यू रियली थिंक इट मैटर्स? बिकॉज बहुत सारे लोग ना उस प्रोफाइल को लेकर इतना वरीड हो जाते हैं एंड दे डोंट नो मतलब लाइक व्हाट टू डू। सो व्हाट डू यू सजेस्ट?
So I don't think that it matters a lot. See, year gap है तो है, उसको accept करो, and there is a reason कि वो है. So just make it your strong point so that you have that gap and you have done these things in that gap. So it won't matter that much when it comes to your interviews and placements. That is my perspective.
And Akash, you are someone जिसने शायद 300-400 लोगों का internship facilitate किया है. So what do you think? यार जिनके पास year gap है या फिर जिनका profile strong नहीं है, do they need to bother so much as of now?
I think it's a step-by-step process. First, you need to get into the V school, and post that you need that particular profile, right? Like there are some like nitty-gritties that you need some amount of profile to like for your interviews, but the majority part which you talk about profile is something which matters at your SIPs or at your final placements. So I'll answer this question into two parts. The first one was, does the gap year matter? So no, no recruiter takes gap year as a red flag until and unless you have a very strong answer for that, that maybe I was doing this thing and I was pursuing this course, that's why I had this gap year. It's totally fine. Second is like there is a lot of gray area when we talk about profile. So there is not something exact definition of profile, right? You can divide your like profile into n number of components, one of them being academics, second could be the quality of work that you have, the kind of position of responsibilities that you have hold during the past years, extracurricular activities, your co-curricular activities. So your profile is a combination of all of these things, and it's totally fine if you are not like a star performer in every component. You need to be decent in few, and at the same time you need to be very good in one or two. So what firms look at when they see at your CV is that they look for spike. They look that for that one thing, that this is something he or she has done which is something different from the whole batch. So that is one thing that firms look from the perspective of profile. Apart from that, until and unless there is a red flag in any of the components, you are sorted on that part. So not a big issue.
Great. And before I move to Sunishta, I would like to come to Vimal, because there are a lot of people who are having experience of 4 years, 5 years. And I remember one of my students, he is having a daughter as well. And then sometimes he picks on question, ki, Saurabh, sir, am I doing the right thing? What is your perspective? Because you joined, you took a decent work ex, then you started on your own, then went for your MBA. So do you really think that the kind of profile what you had is now helping you in your career? Like, what is your insight for the people who are having 4 years or 5 years of experience?
I think that's a great question, Saurabh, especially in Indian MBA's context, because everybody thinks that they need to have just 2 or 3 years of experience, and then that's the best time to do their MBA. So the understanding is right that, and I'll come back to what other fellow panelists has said, that you need to be aware of yourself. Like you need to know if there is a gap year, why was there a gap year? Like you have to be really honest with them. You can't just fool around with them saying, you know what, I was doing this, and then try to come up with a fabricated answer. Same goes for a 4-year experience thing. You have done your 4 years, you have invested, you have learned a lot of things as a professional. That's what you have done. Now, when you go for a program, you need to identify the program that you need to get into. So after 4 or 5 years, I don't think so, sort of it makes sense for a person also to go for a regular program. They can if they want to, but if they want to do something of it, like some other courses from the institutions, they can. Second, it definitely helps for 2 reasons. One is personal. It gives you that confidence, and everybody has this kid, and I want to do an MBA. Like if you have it, do it. Just don't crib about it, or maybe 10 years down the line, you feel that, yeah, I should have done that. Second, professionally, it helps. Again, 2 things in professional. I'm saying a lot of 2 things today. So number 1, it would increase your income. It would accelerate your growth. That's for sure. And second, it would also give you that personal satisfaction that I've achieved something in life. So even if you have 4 years of experience or more than that, outside India, it is very common to have such kind of a profile, and they prefer these kind of profile. In India also, you have some great institutions which actually value your work X, and B, even if you have a kid or a family, if you are ready to take that plunge, because I had my batchmates, some of them were engaged, some of them were expecting. So those people also did very well. They switched their profiles. Or if a person has come from Accenture, for example, and they're going back to the same organization after that, they got higher positions, which normally would have taken them like 3 to 4 years. So sort of my short answer is yes, because you need to take that risk. Just identify your current situations and what your future growth state needs to be. If you know that you want to reach a point, you can, and you have to be very honest. Like everybody is saying, I think Akash also mentioned this, that if there's a gap, you should not be ashamed, or you should not be insecure of that guy, because I also had a gap year, I think 2 years sort of, when I was working on my thing. It did not take off the way it was supposed to, but then I explained that I was trying something out, it did not work. They asked me a lot of questions, by the way, for that in the interview. What was your biggest learning? Why did you fail? And then I realized, dude, this is a motivational story that I can view out of. Like I was I was driving my interview around those areas only, because I knew that this is what they are going to ask. This is what I can talk about. So it would help you. But then the answer is yes. If you want to do it, just do it. Don't worry about, this is not the right time. I'm a little old for MBA, or should I even invest my 2 years? Because if you have that feeling inside you, not doing it would make you suffer more than doing it. And you would get your returns, the ROI that you've been looking for. So that's going to be, again, not a very short answer.
Yeah, but all the stories are so beautiful, and I'm very much like, kiska story kitna detail mein jana hai, but all the experiences which you guys are sharing, and probably the insights you are having, these are not something which can be written in any book. These are something which you have gained by your experience, and you are sharing with all the fellows who are going to appear. And because I'm talking about this, I would like you to introduce, and I would like to hear the journey of these 2 very special people, Sunista and Rushikesh, because these 2 are someone who have scored 1670 last year, and then getting 99.29 in Bangalore this year. So Sunista, how did you pick yourself up from that 70 percentile benchmark? And then how did you become very consistent in your preparation? Because this is a very important question to be addressed. Because आज के डेट में we want to be consistent, we want to be disciplined. हर एक स्टूडेंट को पता भी है कि पढ़ने से एग्जाम क्रैक होगा, but then there are distractions around. You have your phone, you have your Instagram, you have your Netflix and Prime Video. So how did you take your journey? Because there are a lot of questions around this, कि अगर मेरा year gap है तो कितने issues आएंगे. That is not a very major problem, but how to get that 99 plus score?
Okay, so first of all, I was not entirely motivated. When I got 70, I lost hopes. There was a time, and I was in college. I was involved in a lot of extracurriculars. Then I realized it's better to take some time off, get my, just forget about CAT for some time. So I completed my graduation. Then I entirely focused upon my CAT, and I feel that that's one of the best things that a person can do. If you're not able to, if you're like losing somewhere and you're just confused what to do, it's better to leave things for some time. So that worked for me. And talking about even gap year, I was almost asked in every single interview that why do you have a gap year? And I said that, I gave my first attempt. I wanted some time off. Then after completing my graduation and an internship, then I gave 3 months for CAT. And they were like, most of them were like, okay, no issues, because I had a valid answer for it. Some even questioned that, there are people who manage studying for CAT along with their work ex. Why did you not do that? And there will be some grilling. But I had an answer. I said that I don't believe in multitasking. I think it comes at a cost of efficiency, and I would like to be best at one thing rather than being average in other things. So and they understand that. So as long as you have a valid answer for that, as Akash also mentioned before, it works. And talking about motivation, I remember you and Anubhav sir used to say this a lot, that motivation पे rely करोगे तो बस थोड़ा ही चल पाओगे. अगर if you want to excel in life, just know that it comes at a cost of a lot of other things. So sleep was one thing that was the most important thing for me, because I was not I did not ever wake up early in my life except for exam days. So that was a big challenge for me. And talking about social media, yes, I did not want to completely cut off from social media, but at the same time, I knew that, they take a lot of time. So screen timers I use for all of the apps to make sure that, I don't exceed the time. I first complete my daily tasks, and then maybe I can, chill out and engage with social media apps. So that was one thing. And there were days I felt motivated because I had good mock scores. There were days I felt that I wouldn't be able to ace it because I had terrible mock scores. I had something as low as 23 mock score, and sometimes 95 or 98. So there were highs and lows, but one thing that I did not give was, like, I knew, like, there were days literally when I was not feeling well, either emotionally, physically, or, I was crying, but still writing. There were days I was super happy that, I will get 99 plus, but still next day I was working the same way. So motivation पे rely करना, I would say कि is not something wise. आपको पता है कि आपको टास्क करने हैं, तो वो जब तक वो स्प्रेडशीट पे टिक मार्क्स नहीं हो जाते, you keep doing. That's all. Be
Great.
it with a happy face, be it with a sad face. That's all.
That is true. That is very much true, because if I summarize my life journey, and after discussing with a lot of my friends at Excel and other colleges, there is one line I strongly believe in, that everyone has to go through one of the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And the pain of regret is way, way heavier than the pain of discipline. So that is one thing which you can always get motivated by. Rushikesh, coming to you, your journey from.
Yeah, definitely, sir. First of all, thank you so much sharing this platform with these great people and you guys. First of all, I thank you, StudyBUZZ, and thank you everyone for great support. So talking about, there are two questions, like how did I pick up myself from 60 percentile to IIM Bangalore, and the motivation part. So talking about how did I put up myself. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
It's good. Yeah. After 60%, 60%, when I solved the paper, or when I went through the paper, I was pretty realized that it's not that much difficult exam. Like it's been a lot of hype over people that CAT is something which you cannot do. You study for 1 year, you study for 2 years, CAT is something which you cannot do. But I realized that it's not like that. If you are good, consistent enough, or if you can do it, like if you start doing it, you can do it. So I realized that you can do it, and it's always there. Like 50% attempt is near to 100 percentile. So that was another motivation. And I also realized that ABC strategy can definitely work out. Like abhi karo, baad mein karo, chhod do. Of that chhod do wale questions to aapko karne hi nahi hai. So agar aapko, if you keep those questions, around 50 to 60% questions remain, and out of that also 10 to 20% are baad mein karo. So you can find those 50 easy questions, 50% easy questions. So my motivation was kar sakte ho. If you put something to it, you aap kar sakte ho. That was one of the motivation. And the crying woman wali story was always inspiring for me, because that is the first thing which Saurabh tells in your first classes, that aap alag direction mein ja rahe ho. Agar if you want to change direction of your life, if you want to change something in your life, then you have to get out of that train, and you have to go to the right platform, and you have to catch the right train. So I think that was biggest motivation for me. Any time I feel like abhi chhod do yaar, thoda khelne jate, so I always watch that first video of crying woman. I literally now also when I remember that story, it gives me goosebumps. So that much inspiration gave me that crying woman story. And yeah, as Sunisha and Anubhav sir told, if things are not motivating you, then make schedule make you motivate you. मीन्स शेड्यूल ऐसा बनाओ कि वही आपको मोटिवेट कर दे. मतलब आज आपने जो शेड्यूल बना है वो अगर आप कंप्लीट करते हो तो आप बहुत हैप्पी बन जाते हो. मतलब यू बिकम प्राउड ऑफ योरसेल्फ. हेलो.
Correct.
Hello. Yes, I lost it. Hello.
Okay, we will come back. So I tell you a very interesting thing that you might have seen a lot of students who get a college and then they become very chilled out. Ki ab college start hoga, then we will start. And here I would like to introduce you to Mansi, who has got XLRI Jamshedpur, but still she's on her toes. She's doing internship as well, and she's doing a lot of things. But Mansi, how did your journey start, and how did you go through the CAT and then going through the ZAT and then getting to XLRI Jamshedpur? So what was your complete thing? Did you score as per your expectation in your CAT? And after that, what was your thought process, and how did you motivate yourself for the ZAT, and what was your complete journey for the whole year?
Okay, so first of all, the most important thing is that it's not over until it's over. This was my mantra throughout this journey. So I started with my CAT preparation in August, a little bit late, and I was scoring pretty well in mocks. But on the CAT exam day, I don't know what happened, and I lost my confidence slowly and steadily as one question got missed and something like that, and I did not perform to my expectations. One day I gave to myself to be sad. Okay, this has happened with me. Now what's the next thing to do? And the only thing that came to my mind was, I have more exams left now. What should be the plan of action? It's not over until it's over. And then I got up again. I made a spreadsheet of how many days were left for NMAT, how many days were left for SNAP, and how many days were left for ZAT. And in all those spreadsheets, I wrote, what was my weak area, what exactly happened in CAT, why I chose a wrong passage at first, and things like that. And the routine which I picked was that every morning when I get up, I will do one sectional of VARC, in the afternoon one sectional of LRDI, and in the evening quants. So agar ye तीनों नहीं होते थे, my day used to feel very incomplete. और analyze भी ऐसे करना कि how much time did I take and what was the average time taken by students. So बहुत in depth मैंने analysis किया और ज़्यादा as the deadline was approaching, as the exams were approaching. So NMAT में score अच्छा आया, and then SNAP में और अच्छा आया, and then ZAT में और अच्छा आया. I mean, it kept on increasing as I did not lose my confidence in the journey. I was religiously following everything. And even that, after New Year's, in the first week of Jan, I felt really sick. I got viral fever. And even on the exam day, I had a lot of fever. So maine bas paracetamol khaya and I went for the exam. And again, I would say it's not over until it's over. So वहां पर भी मैंने अपना बेस्ट दिया. Even I was feeling very heavy head हो गया था ऐसे लिखते हुए. मैंने बहुत मुश्किल से उसको लिखा. But at the end तक मैं अपना 100% देती रही. And score आने के बाद भी, interview तक भी बहुत ही एक important journey थी, because I had set my goal towards XLRI Jamshedpur, that this is the best college that is in my list now, and ये तो मुझे अब करना ही है, convert करना ही है. So the interview journey was even more rigorous for me. Then interview भी हो गया. उसके बाद I thought I have gap year. I resonate with the story of Gaurav. I was doing giving GATE exam. I was giving SSC exam, state PSU exam, and I was also a defense aspirant. So बहुत सारी चीजें मैं वहाँ पे भी कर रही थी try, but they did not go well with me. So फिर बाद में भी इंटरव्यू के टाइम पे, उसके बाद भी आई रियलाइज कि गैप ईयर और भी मैं अपनी चीजें बेटर कर सकती हूँ. थिंग्स बिफोर जॉइनिंग कैंपस, और भी जितना ज्यादा हो सके under his mentorship, I'm trying to improve. So that's about me.
Great, yeah. This is very good of all of you that we have heard your stories, and I would like to ask your 2 cents about the preparation from today. But before that, I would like to open the floor. Anything you want to ask? I am reading a lot of messages here.
Yes, I lost connection in between.
Yes.
I just left before mentioning the important point. So if it's fine, I can.
Yes,
I can continue. Yeah, preparation strategy. So I think most of the people have shared. So just I would like there were a lot of questions in the chat box also regarding if people have less graduation marks, if people have some less marks in CAT. So I think I would be a right person to answer that question because I had 92.9, so it's around 93%. And the CAM would be a better option. I'll switch off the CAM. So the thing is a composite score. Saurabh sir also have emphasized a lot on composite score. So I think all of you should be aware of what are these things, like along with your preparation to make yourself more motivated or to make yourself more confident. Also, you should know about what exactly composite score is or how your final conversion or final things are happening. So if you talk about IIM Bangalore, this year IIM Bangalore didn't have single percentage weightage for your graduation score. So people who are having less marks in graduation and having good marks in 10th and 12th, no need to worry because the top institute like IIM B also didn't have weightage for graduation. So I'm not saying this will be continued next year. I don't know, but you will find some colleges which have don't weightage for graduation or things which you are lagging at. So that will be some places where you can land up to. And the next thing is the weightage of the VAT and your personal interview. So talking about IIM Bangalore for the final selection, this VAT and personal interview summed up to 45%. And I think this is very big number because you are preparing for CAT for your whole year, 6 months, 7 months, and that only counted to 35% while the final conversion is concerned. And the rest 45% is your personal interview and VAT. So I think talking about interview, it's in your hand. Just you have to talk what you have done. It's about yourself. So I think if you are pretty good prepared, so I think you can excel. And IIM B call was my highest call. So I had IIM Bangalore ka call was my highest call and I converted it. So I think just knowing yourself would be suffice in your interview, and you should be aware about the composite score and other things apart from CAT also. So I think that helped me convert IIM B. Thank you.
Great. That's a very inspirational journey, Rushikesh. So now the floor is open to all of you. जितने भी लोग यहाँ पे इस discussion को सुन रहे हैं, I will be asking one by one all the questions. So starting from Aditya, Jainish का एक question है, did you appear for FMS? And why did you opt for IIM Bangalore if in case you appeared for FMS?
So yeah, I appeared for FMS and I think I converted it in 4th or 5th waitlist. By the end, I had to choose between initially IIM B and C. So my choice was pretty clear because when I started preparing for CAT, my goal was to get into IIM B. So this was my first convert. And once the result came, I was not bothered about other results and I just filled the fees and all the forms for IIM B and joined there.
Okay. तो वो वाला थॉट नहीं है बीच में कहीं पे कि एफएमएस का आरओआई बेटर है IIM बैंगलोर से?
आया था शुरू में एक बार, but the thing is it's just the tuition fee and there are a lot of add-ons as well in FMS, but IIM B was the goal since the beginning, so I didn't compromise on that.
Great. Aditi, when did you start appearing for NMAT mocks? Like after CAT only or before you appeared for CAT?
After CAT only. Don't divert your focus before CAT. Do it after CAT. You will be okay. Just give 15 days max for that.
Okay. So Rudra, any input of yours? How can someone improve their communication skill if they are struggling as of now in the next 6-7 months or probably till the time they will have their interviews?
Well, the biggest aspects of being able to articulate yourself to the best of your individual capacity would be to read classic books. I am a huge sucker for Russian classics and also German classics. So that is something that builds up your vocabulary and kind of a way to express yourself that is, you know, a sort of renaissance. It sounds better. So read a lot. Besides that, watch a lot of good web series like Suits, like House of Lies, House of Cards, because in that you will be able to express yourself in a sort of a business oriented setting, because most of these series are you know, about these sort of topics. So one of my advices would be that. Besides that, practice in front of a mirror or just record yourself on your phone, because I am a Sarkari school student. Till my 10th standard, I have studied in a school which had a monthly fees of 200 rupees. So and till that time, I barely was able to speak in English. And after that, I started working on myself, because I knew that English is indeed a very crucial skill, especially in the field that I want to indulge myself in after graduation. So yeah, I tried to work upon myself a lot, and yeah, so yeah, I was able to improve upon my English speaking skills and speaking skills in general. Not only English, because communication is not only about speaking English.
Great, great. So Sunishta, a question from Mehak. She is also a DU aspirant about to graduate, and she's asking that what was your strategy after college and how did you manage it? Like you appeared for CAT once during your final year, and then this year you appeared after your graduation. So there are a lot of students who are in their final year of their graduation. So what would you like to advise them?
Okay, so I analyzed the IIM pattern in general, and it had a lot of weightage for work X. So I knew कि ये वाला section जाएगा, so I need to work on other sections. So I was really active in college, so I had a lot of extracurriculars on table. So that was one thing I was not worried about. Other than that, I also worked with a lot of firms. I did a lot of internships. And someone also asked about the gap year thing. So as soon as my college got over, even when I was in college, I interned with various firms, including Paytm. And right after my college was over, I interned with KPMG for like 2 months. So I knew that WorkX is something that I cannot work upon, but there are other things that I can, make sure that I have at least decent weightage on that. So during my college, there was a lot of PORs that I held. I was active in both cultural and tech societies. So I knew my interests were towards, either marketing or finance. So I was active in those societies. And DU has that benefit that you get to you get a lot of exposure. So that's one thing that you need to like academics is something and that you can work upon. But if you have 7 above in graduation, that works for most people. There are other things that you need to focus upon more. That is extracurriculars, of course. And I think that you should not miss upon that, because they also give you that corporate exposure, that feeling that, how do you work with a team? People can be good individual workers, but when you work with a team, there are a lot of things that you need to consider. So that was one. And along with the internships, do a lot of live projects. Also, a lot of good certifications. You can go for something like NCFM or NISM, SEBI courses, and BSc, NSC courses, or something like a FRM or CFA, some certification that adds value to your CV. So if there is, a gap year in your profile, or if you're a fresher, then you need to make up with these things, I feel.
Great, thanks for this. एक मेरे पास पर्सनल इनबॉक्स में मैसेज आया from Gaurav. Gaurav, did you appear for all the 3 snap attempts, or you scored it in the first attempt itself?
Sir, actually, I appeared for all the 3 attempts, and I got the percentile based on my first attempt. Okay. And there's a huge difference between the first attempt and second and third attempt marks that I got.
So this is a recommendation that appear for all the attempts, and then you can wait for the best score.
Sir, actually, the scorecard came very later phase of the journey. So, yeah, I actually felt that my first attempt went very good. But yeah, as I paid for the examinations, and I'm not very sure because of the past that I had, so I have to appear for the exams. That was the thing.
Great. So Rajesh, आपसे एक क्वेश्चन पूछा गया, and this I believe a lot important question, क्योंकि इसके बारे में मैं भी बहुत क्लास में डिस्कशन करता हूँ, that आपने सोशलाइज करना बंद कर दिया था. Do you think it was worth it? And is it really important?
So पहली बात तो I don't have any partner in my life, तो socialize वहाँ पे नहीं करता मैं. दूसरा, मेरे सारे दोस्त they stay very far because college के बाद सभी का placement हो गया, तो वो नहीं था. हाँ, worth it था कि नहीं? I think yes, it is worth it, because you have to understand, you have to get to live alone, and you have to fight your own battle, because then and there only you will face face the heat. Like you will have, क्योंकि जब भी मैं Instagram खोलता था सभी अमीर लोग मुझे दिखते थे, so मुझे वो एक फीलिंग आती थी कि यार इतने अमीर कैसे हैं लोग. So तो that thing you have to be there. You will see people going out everywhere, so that thing should pinch you. But then again, whether it helped me or not, yes, it did in a very better way, because I feel that it motivated me as such ki I also have to do that, and at the end socialize नहीं किया तो नहीं किया, because after all when you get a good B school तुमको तो referral के messages आ ही जाते हैं, congratulations ऐसे ऐसे जगह से आते हैं जिनसे तुम कभी बात ही नहीं किए. So that will happen at the end of the day. So yeah, that will suffice you. You will feel actually very good, because after when you score this much and then when you get congratulation messages from people who haven't even had a chat with you once, तो you will feel very good, and उस time socialize हो ही जाता है, तो लोग जबरदस्ती socialize कर लेते तुम्हारे साथ. So that is one thing that will be worth at the end of the day.
That's a great thing. I believe there are a lot of questions which are coming up. Archie, one question from you has been asked by someone that how did you manage your time in the weekdays and weekends? Along with the job, how much time did you spend in your studies in the weekend and in the weekdays?
Okay. So over the weekdays, I would spend like 2 hours in the morning. That mostly used to be giving mocks or sectionals, because you are feeling fresh at that point. And then in the evening, I would spend time around 3 hours or like 4 hours, I would try, so that I can overall give like 5 to 6 hours every day to analyze my tests or mock that I've given in the morning, or to practice more questions that I had planned when I was jotting down my schedule. Over the weekends, so I had actually distributed the subjects and my preparation for the entire week. I would plan like an entire week. So I would go for like 3 days, I would do quants, 2 days I would do LRDI. I would give a VARC sectional every day for 40 minutes. Someday, if I'm not feeling like giving a sectional, maybe I'll just read an A1 essay or some article. So that was how my weekdays looked like. Over weekends, of course, I tried to study more than 6 hours, because I was doing that every day. So I would appear for sectionals, I would appear for mocks, and I would actually look at how much progress I have made in the past 1 week. So where am I? So basically, weekends, I would kind of take it chill, not really practice as such, but prepare for what the next week is going to look like, and wrap up what I had done for the week.
Great. All right. Then there is one question from Vimal, that for a person who is having 5 years of work ex, is it beneficial to go for MBA outside India or in India? Do you think this work ex is acceptable? What is your perspective on this? I believe you are the best person to answer on this.
Yeah, I think that's a relevant question, Saurabh. So it depends, like, again, what your priorities are. In case if you want to settle abroad, you don't want to come back, then I would say yes, go out, work there. Study there and work there, because then you would be able to realize the ROI that you've been looking for. But if your family is important, you have friends around, and you want to stay in your country, I wouldn't recommend going out, because most of the organizations that are coming there would hire you for the role there. And so you have to decide, number one, the first thing, that do you want to stay in India? I wanted to always stay in India. So I did my MBA from India. So I was planning to go abroad, but then the whole idea of settling outside India wasn't flying up with me. So I thought of coming, like, it was another thing for me to settle outside India. Coming to the second part of the question, which is, do MBA colleges in India, they respect that you have such diverse experience of 5 years or maybe 5+ years? Yes. There are courses which are specifically designed for people who have this kind of experience. And by the way, very good placements and very good cohort. So like everybody's mentioning here, the peers, that those who are around you in your program, they matter a lot, because the curriculum is same. If you study from XYZ college, or if you study from the elite ones, the curriculum is exactly the same. So what matters are the professors, and professors are also great at every institution, but what matters is the peer group. So if I'm sitting against someone who scored 99, or who comes with that specific intellect, you'd learn a lot. So the answer is yes. 5 years of experience, you just need to focus on the right program, and that would again give you the ROI. But you have to again go back to the drawing board, think about what you do want to do, like where do you want to stay, because after 2 years you would have to take up a job, and then you have to work. So it's very important that you are in an environment that is suitable for you. People, sometimes it looks very lucrative. I think Saurabh knows a lot of people who have settled. We have common friends. They're not so happy, and some of them are really happy. So
there is another question which I will ask in a while. Before that, Aditya, I was going through a scorecard, because there are a lot of people who are asking about verbal, and you have scored 99.77 in verbal and 99.98 in LRDI. and there was a specific question how to get confidence in both the section, because quants में तो formula करके question करते हैं तो answer आ जाता है, but LRDI में there are lot of times it has happened with me as well, and I'm sure that it might have happened with all the aspirants who are sitting here, कि कभी-कभी आप एक question में stuck हो जाते हैं and 40 minutes चला जाता है, पता भी नहीं चलता, right? And then what is the right time to leave a set? That is a very important question, क्योंकि बहुत बार ना after 4 minutes 5 minutes you realize कि now I should continue or I should leave. And verbal may, to get that kind of accuracy, to achieve 99.77, what are your 2 cents on these 2 particular sections?
Okay, so for verbal, as I mentioned, I used to divide the questions into different categories during the mocks and note down how many I'm getting correct and how many I'm skipping. So that helped me calculate my accuracy over the time of my preparation. So the only goal in verbal that I had was to increase my accuracy, because when I started preparing, my accuracy was around 50-60%, which is not very good. So that was my goal, to increase the accuracy. So I started with attempting less questions and reading more essays. So slowly and slowly that built up my verbal ability, and my accuracy started to improve. And by the time the exam came, my accuracy was around 90-95%. In the exam as well, I think I got just 1 negative mark in the verbal section across the whole exam. So accuracy is the key in verbal and LRDI. And for LRDI, I think I used to spend like 5 minutes before attempting the section to see which questions I will attempt in the beginning and which I will leave for the end. So picking these questions again comes up when you give a lot of mocks. You get to know how to approach a question, how much time it will take. So like I used to leave the DEI questions for the last, because you can attempt single question out of that set as well, but it is not the case in LR, because you have to solve everything first. So if like I had 2-3 minutes at the end of the exam, I used to attempt those DI questions. That helped me break down my time for the exam and attempt the questions in the proper order that to maximize the score.
Great. And Rajesh, the same question from you, because you have also scored 99 plus in your LRDA section and a very great percentile with quants. How to deal with quants? There are a lot of students who are not from that maths background. And like you said, कि यार मेरे को अगर successive discount का formula नहीं आता तो मैं क्या करूँ? तो अगर किसी को नहीं आता तो what should be his game of like action plan now, as of now, from today onwards?
Yeah. So as I said कि जो भी सर के books होंगे या फिर जो भी आप books कहीं से भी लोगे, so please go through the theory, because theory say you have to go to the theory, that is very important. After that, solve the examples, do the LOD1, do the LOD2, and after that please revise that book. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक बार कर लिया and then you keep it. So please revise that book. What I did was that I maintained a copy जहाँ पे I kept all my questions which I could not do in my mock. So every week I used to revise that before the mock, the formula book, which also I had maintained a separate copy. So I revised that. और उससे क्या होता था कि पूरे ईयर जो मैं क्वेश्चंस करता था वो मेरा रिवाइज हो जाता था. So during the CAT day I was actually having in my head the entire year questions of quants which I ever did. So that was helpful for me. Also, I would like to say that please try to finish your syllabus by September, I guess, and then start with your 10 years, because 10 years is a Bible. Please don't skip that. Also, after 15th November, please don't do anything new, because वो ऐसे भी दिमाग में घुसने नहीं वाला. So उसको लेके burden मत लो. And people are sometimes, I need to add so that people are not confident with some chapters like permutation, combination, probability, number system. तो एक बार के लिए उनको छोड़ दो. Do all the other chapters and then you start with the permutation, combination, probability, and number system. And finally, I would like to say that quants is a very kind of a kind of a predictable paper. Matlab, in the sense you can actually visualize those questions, which doesn't happen in LRD and VRC. So that is one of my tips that will be to the students, that please focus on concept building, formulas. These are no joke, and focus on solving questions and try to revise them, please. Because if you revise them, you will obviously retain what formula is being applied. So
perfect. And this is one question specifically to Akash and Mansi, that ZAT के लिए अलग से क्या करना है, and how to prepare for ZAT GK and ZAT decision making, because I believe decision making is one section which is the make or break section. So Akash, your 2 cents on ZAT particularly, कि अलग से क्या करें इसमें?
I think I can share my experience. What I did specifically for ZAT was going through the past year question papers, which like from 2010 onwards to 2020, doing each and every set from the DM, and apart from that, analyzing those things, because for decision making specifically, there is no right or wrong answer. There is a gray answer, right? You will see that out of the 5 options provided to you, the 2 answer makes sense. But out of them in the exam, there is only one correct answer. So just by like going through all the questions, you'll understand what exactly is the like thought process which you need to build to answer the DM questions. And I think apart from that, you don't need to do enough specifically for DM section. Coming to GK, I think if you prepare for IIFT or for other exam, I think GK part is sorted. There is no like broad questions which come specifically for ZAT that didn't come in other exams. So I think if you do basic of static GK and current affairs, you'll be sorted on that part.
Great. Mansi, what was your strategy for ZAT decision making particularly?
So like Akash did, he solved the previous year paper. So you have to solve those paper which are given on the website. The answer sheet should be legit, because sometimes there are discrepancies in the answer sheet by different institutes. So you've solved those. I also watched some whatever YouTube content was available, how there was elimination method was used in rejecting some of the options. So first thing is that you have to read the question thoroughly, but also go through all the options. And there is very slight difference between the options. So follow the elimination method in that. And then for GK, because I was preparing for defense and also I had my notes ready. Approximately 80% is static GK and 20% is your current affairs. So focus more on the static and prepare notes. And there are various sources on the internet from where you can prepare notes. Don't go in depth, but cover a lot of area. So make your notes, and just before 15 days before the exam or so, then you can go through the current affairs section. There are revision videos. There are 2-3 hours videos even at StudyBUZZ channel. So you can go through them and your current affairs would be prepared from there. That's all.
Great. Rudra, because I was going through your score as well, and you scored somewhere around 99.79% with LRDI. So again, what was your strategy to tackle LRDI? Because this is one section where students sometimes struggle. They struggle to approach how to start, and even if they start, they don't go. They are not able to land it anywhere. So what to do with that?
Yeah, so like everybody mentioned, you have to be very, very consistent with your studies. So I made a vow to myself that I want to solve at least 2 sets of LR and DI combined every single day. So no matter what happened, even if there was some...
बोल के थक गए इनको कि daily 2 sets solve कर लो, करते ही नहीं, क्या करें? इसका क्या solution है? मतलब this is one thing which I always come in my class. I start my class with this कि daily 2 LRD solve कर लो, तुम्हारा हो जाएगा. अब वो अगर नहीं कर रहा है तो उसका क्या करना है फिर? 2 hours.
Yeah, well, so this is the thing now. This is the very thing that's going to separate wheat from chaff. So if people are not even willing to commit themselves to solve at least 2 sets in a span of 24 hours, then how do you expect to get a 99 percentile or even a 95 percentile for that matter? Because frankly, I'm not very fixated on percentiles. I'm always creating systems. There are 2 measures, the lead measures and the lag measures. And lag measures would be something that you do not have a direct control over. For example, then the percentile that you're going to get in your final exam, because it is something that is also dependent upon the other people's performances, right? But what is in my control is that I can commit myself to solve at least 2 sets a day, like Anubhav sir mentioned, 2 RCs a day even. So if you can commit yourself to do this, then there is not much to worry about. And to be very honest, you should not look at your mock scores, because I'm the person who has scored 1.63 percentile in his mocks and consistently scoring less than 20 percentiles. So yeah, it's not going to matter in the end. And if you stay with the process, stay true to the process, in the end you're gonna ace it.
Great. So I believe कि देखो मेरी और अनुभव सर की बात सुन के बहुत बार होता है ना कि ऐसा that you don't listen to your parents, but फिर कोई third person बोलता है तो कभी-कभी hit कर जाता है. So I hope that these students will become regular today. One question from Gaurav and Akash, I would also like your input on this. कि अगर मेरा year gap है तो how would you like me to do things to build up a good CV so that after I join a college I don't face any difficulty. I don't have any extra co-curricular activity. So should I go for certification or internship? And I have CAT as well. So मैं क्या करूँ?
I think my advice would be very generic. First of all, focus on CAT. That is the most important thing. Just have that score, and on the side you can do 1 or 2 things, but don't take much on your plate so that it affects your CAT preparation, or that is the thing which has the paramount amount of importance. Focus on that, and apart from that, you can do additionally 1 or 2 things, and I think you will be sorted post that.
And Gaurav, your input on this, because you have done a lot of things in Excel portal.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Like अगर मेरी बात करूँ तो I got 3 years of gap. Like 12th के बाद 1 साल for IIT preparation. Then 2021 I got graduated. Then 2023 I'm taking the admission. So with 3 years of gap I'm getting into SIBM Pune. So gap के बाद भी selection हो सकता है, but it actually depends on your profile. जैसा कि I told you, with your a very strong profile you can actually justify 10 years of gap. I literally mean it. You can justify 10 years of gap. आपका काम वैसा होना चाहिए. It should speak for yourself. So पहली बात है. फिर second, जैसे कि स्टूडेंट्स पूछ रहे हैं कि लाइक हम प्रोफाइल कैसे बिल्ड करें, कोई वर्बल के लिए पूछ रहा है, तो बेसिकली व्हाट आई फील इज इट्स ऑल अबाउट वन स्पेसिफिक पर्सनालिटी. जो एकेडमिकली बहुत ओरिएंटेड है वो स्पेसिफिकली कैट के लिए नहीं पढ़ेगा. उसको वर्बल पसंद है, उसको रीडिंग पसंद है, कैट लाइफ का एक पार्ट बन गया तो ही और शी स्कोर्ड. सिमिलरली मेरे लिए लाइक आई वाज वेरी मच इनटू एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर, वो कैट में यूटिलाइज हो गया, सो इट हैपेंड. सो कभी भी अगर हम कोई एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी पर्सनालिटी को देखते हैं, मेरे इस छोटे से अनुभव में मैंने यही सीखा है कि कोई बहुत अगर बड़ा कोई फील्ड में बनता है तो कोई स्पेसिफिकली एग्जाम या कोई इवेंट के लिए प्रिपेयर नहीं करता. उसकी पर्सनालिटी वैसी होती है, वो चीजें बैठ जाती है वैसे. सो इट लिटरली हैपेंड विथ मी. लाइक जब मैंने इंजीनियरिंग स्टार्ट की, मेरा फोकस पूरा प्रोफाइल बिल्डिंग पे था. ये नहीं पता था कि आई विल बी गोइंग फॉर द कैट एंड ये काम आएगा, बट मुझे वो करना पसंद था. एंड आई वाज वेरी क्लियर कि आई एम गोइंग टू यूज इट इन सम और द अदर वे, और मैं बहुत बड़े स्केल पे इसको यूज करने वाला. एंड हम यहाँ पर टाइम मैनेजमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं सर, एंड शेड्यूलिंग की बात कर रहे हैं चीजें, बट आई पर्सनली बिलीव इट्स ऑल अबाउट प्रायोरिटाइजिंग. हम सब नहीं कर सकते, बट हम कुछ चीजें बहुत अच्छे से कर सकते हैं. तो इट्स एक्चुअली ऑल अबाउट प्रायोरिटाइजिंग. अगर चीजें प्रायोरिटाइज हो जाएगी तो टाइम मैनेजमेंट भी हो जाएगा और शेड्यूलिंग भी हो जाएगा. तो कभी भी टाइम टेबल बनाना एक हवाई बातें हैं, अगर हम प्रायोरिटाइज करके सब हो जाता है. सेकंड, जैसा कि आकाश ने बताया, अगर आप स्पेसिफिकली कैट प्रिपरेशन के फेज में हैं, जैसे कि व्हेन आई गेट इनटू 2021 का समय, व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड, मैंने सब छोड़ दिया. इट वाज वेरी टफेस्ट फेज ऑफ माय लाइफ, बिकॉज खाली बैठ के पढ़ना मेरे लिए नहीं था, बट वो करना पड़ा. बिकॉज अगर उस समय वाज मोर इनटू फोकसिंग द प्रोफाइल बिल्डिंग, आज यहाँ नहीं होता, कहीं नहीं पहुंच पाता. सो एक फेज होता है लाइफ का जहां पर आपको प्रोफाइल बिल्डिंग पे फोकस करनी चाहिए, और उससे अगर आप निकल गए हैं देन आपको सिर्फ पढ़ना चाहिए. आप सब नाव पे पैर नहीं रख सकते. एक टाइम फ्रेम होता है लाइफ का, वहां पर आप वैसे फोकस करिए एंड अगले फेज पे अगले तरीके से फोकस करिए. तो मैंने यही किया, लाइक मेरा ऐसे ही था जर्नी.
Because there are a lot of questions around RC. Sunishta,
can I just add something to
Yes,
Gaurav?
definitely.
Sir, okay. Sir, I think this gap year का जो हवा चल रहा है ना बच्चों में, that is I think very wrong, because I feel that कि half of the students who are studying in IIT has taken a 1 year drop. Now that because they are in IIT, as because you are actually eliminating that they have taken a gap year. So what I would suggest the students is that forget whatever you have done the day before yesterday. Please focus on getting a percentile in CAT, and trust me, everything will take care of itself. If you get a 99.5, 99.6, even 100 percentile, so everything will take care of itself. You need not worry about anything else. And if even after that you're not going into IIM, then IIM is losing something. You're not losing anything. So that is one thing. Please focus on your percentile. Forget about the gap year. Forget anything that is distracting you in this 6-7 months, and just focus in getting a good CAT score, because that is what in your hands. If you get into मेरा profile नहीं हुआ, मेरा 10th and 12th का marks नहीं गया, तो ऐसे ही CAT is a difficult exam. Okay, nobody will agree that CAT is an easy exam, and it is very unpredictable. And even after that also, you are creating more problems for yourself, then you will be at the losing end, I guess. So this is one thing.
This is a very beautiful insight. And यहाँ पे क्योंकि काफी सारे लोग RCs के ऊपर क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं, we have heard the inputs from Aditya and Rudra. So Mr. You have also scored 99 plus in your verbal section individually. What is the correct way to target RC? So what was your strategy about the verbal section and even LRDA? Because in that section also, I believe you scored 99 plus. So what are your 2 cents on both the sections?
Okay, sir. So I believe for RC, there are 2 things. First is you comprehend the RC properly, you understand what's there in the RC. And the second is that you are able to choose the right option. because I remember Anubhav sir used to be like, options may red, white, yellow nahi puchenge. There would be 4 shades of red and you need to select one. So that's how close the RC questions are. So for that, for understanding, for improving your comprehension skills, Aeon is the best thing, or FinShots or any other similar kind of essays. So by like reading 4,500 words or 5,000 words in Aeon, actually CAT essays are not that long, but what it does is that when you are attempting, when you are giving actual CAT, you have to do back to back a lot of RCs, you have to do a lot of questions. So when you're reading a 5,000 word essay, you are actually training your brain that you need to focus. You shouldn't lose your focus in between. So that's what RCs, I think, Aeon helps with. The second thing about comprehension is that you practice a lot of RCs, not just, I did a lot of CAT previous year questions, also ZAT, IFT questions. IFT RCs were really helpful because they're pretty long. So there are 2 parts, and make sure you handle them well, because for my first attempt, I read a lot of Aeon essays, but I did not get a good verbal score. For the reason was, I was able to understand the RC, but there's no point if you're not able to select the right option. So that's for RCs. For VA, para-jumble and para-summary is one of the most important things. So I practiced a lot of para-jumbles and para-summaries. Like even Anubhav sir used to say that even when you're given options, always make sure that you first hide the options and try to solve it by your own. Sometimes when I started, I realized that I used to solve, sometimes I used to get answers where, you know, the options weren't even close by. But slowly and gradually I learned, you know, I got the hang of it. So that's for VARC. For LRDI, I believe that I felt that DI was my strong area, but somehow I always like to do a lot of LR questions. Like I used to, even if, like I used to prefer a difficult LR set over an easy DI set. I don't know what was the catch there, but I always liked that. So I, after analyzing a lot of mocks, I realized this mistake. So I used to, first of all, read questions and not judge them by the length or the fact that they were LR or DI. If they were easy, I had to attempt them. So that is one of the trick. And after analyzing the mocks, if you're still not able to solve a particular LR question set, it's better to solve it no matter how many minutes or hours it takes. It's better to solve it by your own, because once you look at the answer, and if you haven't solved it on your own, you won't remember the answer. That's the problem, that you won't remember unless and until you've done it yourself. And I was pretty nervous about LRDI, but I remember solving your 8-hour video of YouTube on the very last day. So when you solve almost all questions from easy to difficult, both LR, DI, and different types of tournament and games and questions like that, you get the hand that you understand patterns. So patterns is something that you need to remember. Otherwise, questions judge by their merit. That's all.
Great. Aditya, one question from you, because there are again a lot of working professionals who want to ask something, that how to utilize my time as I have 10 hours working. And as far as I remember, when you were preparing for CAT exam, you were working full time, and I remember taking your interview when you told कि मेरा 8 PM तक तो काम ही होता था ऑफिस का. So how did you divide your weekdays and weekend during your preparation journey?
Okay, so yeah, my work schedule was pretty hectic, and during the weekdays I used to get like time after 8 or 9. So my priority was giving mocks and analyzing them. So I used to give like 2 to 3 mocks during the weekdays and analyze them on the alternate day. On the weekend, Saturday, I kept it for the preparation, the topics that were weak in the mocks. So I prepared those on Saturdays. And on Sundays, I had a certification course with SPJIMR. So my day was pretty much gone in that thing. So Saturdays was my preparation day, but the time that I got in weekdays, my priority was mocks, because during my first attempt, I realized that mocks are very important. And if I give mocks regularly and analyze them properly, the process will go smoothly.
Okay. So Bimal, one question for you, which has been asked, that how your life has changed before MBA and after MBA, and what were you actually working? So if you want to ask that what he was working before, so I and Bimal both were working with the same team in Ernst & Young, and we both were working as analysts there. After that, apart from that, he is now having a very hefty package. what other changes you have seen?
Don't know about the hefty package part, Saurabh, but yes. So, of course, so life has changed. Like I said, you know what? If I think if you go by the normal route, if you don't take the MBA thing, you would grow in your career if you spend some time. That's for sure. That's going to be there. But then I think one thing that you would get after MBA is accelerated growth. So if you are achieving something in, let's say, 7 years without MBA in corporate life, you would achieve that, I think, in 2 or 3 years, because no matter what they say, they would require a degree. It's still there. It's the harsh truth. You would see a lot of people saying, degrees don't matter. They do as of now. So one thing is there that you would get that accelerated growth. And the second thing is choice of work also, Saurabh. So once you have that MBA, especially if you just have 2 or 3 years of experience, you can choose whatever you want to choose from. So you could become a marketing manager, you could work with an FMCG firm, you could work with McKinsey, Bain, or the MBB, which Saurabh was mentioning. You could become a consultant. I got into sales because of MBA, because I wanted to do sales. Some of them would become financial analysts, would get into finance. So you have a lot of choices. So you would get a buffet and you could pick up the dish that you want to. So I think life has changed in the sense that, of course, your monetary income and everything increases. Of course, that's something that everybody wants to achieve. Of course, your network also grows. So I think you say this a lot, that your worth is your network, right? So you would know a lot of people, man. So especially during COVID times, I've realized that if even in the times of emergency, I could reach out to someone who had some connection. So that feeling of brotherhood, fraternity is amazing. And there are so many wonderful people here from different institutions. They would vouch for this, that once you leave your organization, an XLRI person was studying with you would become like a family member you can reach out to that person. So just imagine, you would have access to so much, and you would have access to so many people who would be heading a lot of organizations, maybe in this country, maybe outside. So the network grows, your personal growth grows. And the third thing is sort of, I think you would learn a lot of life lessons as well. For example, for me, I was terribly bad at time management. So before MBA, it always took me a while to prioritize things and everything. But MBA also, during that grind, I understand that I cannot do each and everything. So now I understand how you can prioritize things. The second thing, I realized that I have some different, interest areas which I wasn't aware of. But during that time in the MBA, I realized that. And third, you would also realize your strengths and weaknesses. Nobody's good at everything. So I think instead of wasting your time on things that you can't be, you should work on things that you can be. So I think sort of these things have changed, personal, professional, plus perspective has changed. So I think these are the things. Might sound a little philosophical, but then again, in the long run, these things matter. Jobs and money.
And I believe that's what happens. You become humble when you get a couple of promotions very early, and then your package gets 3-fold or 4 times. We will discuss it offline probably. So coming to the next question, Gaurav and Aditi, and I would like to ask from you, because there are some students who wants to know कि आपने NMAT और SNAP की verbal के लिए क्या अलग किया? What because that is a verbal which is related to vocabulary, which is not primarily asked in CAT and other exams. So what especially you did for NMAT and SNAP? Because उन दोनों का verbal somehow कहीं ना कहीं similar होता है. तो Aditi and Gaurav.
Yeah, Aditi, please, if you can take it first.
So since you are studying for CAT, you usually go through essays and RCs. Just make sure that you are looking at words, their meanings, and trying to understand why these words are there. And once you start getting into mocks, you will understand that yes, these words are asked usually, or maybe this type of words. You need not to do a separate practice as of it, but yeah, you need to understand that why starting words are used. For example, if we are using anti, why that anti word means, it will help. So these type of things you need to study once you start studying for NMAT or SNAP. But other than that, I don't think you need to study separately.
All right. Gaurav, your 2 cents
Yeah,
on
so
SNAP.
what I feel is like reading पहले से पसंद था. I used to read a lot, and it actually like goes back to my content writing journey when I embarked on that in 2018. So अच्छा लिटरेचर पढ़ना लिखना पसंद था. So similarly it goes into the reading pattern. So पढ़ना भी अच्छा लगने लगा. Although it didn't work out in my CAT, but हाँ पढ़ना अच्छा लगता था, तो vocabulary के शब्द भी और communication, public speaking, people dynamics, presentation, ये सब मेरा forte है. So कहीं ना कहीं all are connected, what I believe. Like जितना अच्छा आप लिखो, जितना अच्छा पढ़ोगे उतना अच्छा लिखोगे उतना अच्छा बोलोगे. So मेरे लिए fundamentally it worked in this way. इसको एग्जीक्यूट कैसे करना था, तो स्नैप एंड एनमैट में थोड़ा सा फंडामेंटली डिफरेंस है कि स्नैप में 15 क्वेश्चंस आने हैं वर्बल के, बट वर्बल में लाइक एनमैट में ऐसा नहीं है. थोड़ा पैराग्राफ्स, क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग एंड इन्फरेंस, ये सब पार्ट थोड़ा ज्यादा रहता है, तो उसमें रीडिंग का लाइक वेटेज काफी ज्यादा हो जाता है. लाइक फाइनल नुआंसेस ऑफ रीडिंग ये सब आपको आने चाहिए लाइक एनमैट के लिए. बट स्नैप में वैसा नहीं है, बहुत ही लिमिटेड एंड कंस्ट्रेंट पेपर पैटर्न रहता है. प्रीवियस ईयर अगर आप 10 साल भी लगा लेते हैं तो 15 में से आई बिलीव 12-13 क्वेश्चन आप निकाल सकते हैं. तो स्नैप का पर्टिकुलरली दिस इज द थिंग. एंड वन मोर पॉइंट आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड इज स्नैप इज द इजीएस्ट एग्जाम. अगर कोई प्रॉपर मेंटोरशिप में करे तो आई बिलीव 2 महीना भी बहुत ज्यादा है स्नैप के लिए. एंड गेटिंग इनटू SIBM इज द इजीएस्ट थिंग इन द वर्ल्ड. एक्चुअली आई हैव डन इट, so मुझे अब पता है. बट व्हेन आई वाज गिविंग इनटू द फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट मुझे नहीं पता था. लाइक आई वाज वेरी, मतलब कभी इस डायरेक्शन में थोड़ा मेहनत कर लिया, कभी उस डायरेक्शन में. वो फाइनल नुआंसेस ऑफ क्लियरिंग द स्नैप एग्जाम वो सब नहीं मालूम थे. तो अगर लाइक सौरभ सर और अनुभव सर आपके साथ है तो स्पेसिफिकली आई बिलीव आप स्नैप तो क्लियर कर ही लोगे, बिकॉज लाइक कैट में 2 साल मेहनत करना एंड स्नैप में 2 महीने मेहनत करना, रिजल्ट यू विल गेट इट. सो अपना समय आप लाइक वाइसली अलॉट करें. कैट के साथ कॉमेंट्स पे भी थोड़ा फोकस करें. ये मेरा पर्सनल थोड़ा ओपिनियन है, बिकॉज कैट क्या थोड़ा सा डाइसी हो जाता है. बोलने के लिए 2 घंटे का एग्जाम है, बट वो 40 मिनट्स का एग्जाम है. ये बात हमको समझना चाहिए फर्स्ट थिंग. सो मोमेंट्स पे भी थोड़ा फोकस करें. एंड फॉर स्नैप वर्बल आई थिंक अगर आप जितना अच्छा रीड करेंगे उतना अच्छा आपकी वोकैबुलरी डेवलप होगी. एंड जितना इंग्लिश में कम्युनिकेट करेंगे आप अपने टीम मेंबर्स के साथ और अपने क्लास फ्रेंड्स एंड फेलोज के साथ, उतना अच्छा स्नैप का वर्बल आपका निकल सकता है. बाकी बहुत ज्यादा कुछ है नहीं.
Great, thank you so much. Rushikesh, are you there or have you left, because I have seen your message? So
Yes, I mean.
Great. So one question, there is one student who have pinged me personally in the chat that sir मेरा 2 साल से CAT दे रहा हूँ, मेरा एक बारी 50 आया और एक बारी 62 आया है. Do you really think that I can make up in a good college? And I don't think that there is anyone better than you who can explain this. What would you like to tell him and to all the people who cannot ask this question but that is there in their mind?
Sir, first of all, तो एक आंसर का एक सेंटेंस का आंसर है डेफिनेटली यू कैन गो देयर. बिकॉज अगेन जो हमने इंटरव्यू में भी डिस्कस किया था, डिफिकल्टी इज नॉट परमानेंट. डिफिकल्टी इज समथिंग द अमाउंट ऑफ प्रैक्टिस यू डू फॉर दैट टॉपिक. सो मतलब ऐसे हो ही ना सकता कि अगर आप एक टॉपिक 10 बार कर रहे हो और 11वें बार वो आपको फिर भी डिफिकल्ट लग रहा है, तो इट्स नॉट दैट समथिंग इज डिफिकल्ट फॉर एवर. तो आप थोड़ा सा अपना स्ट्रैटेजी देख लो. मतलब कुछ चीजें आप ब्लाइंडली फॉलो करो. जैसे सौरभ सर या कोई भी आपको जो चीज डिफिकल्ट लगती है उसका यूट्यूब पे जाके सर्च कर लो एंड उसके बाद StudyBUZZ डाल दो, उसका वीडियो आपको मिल ही जाएगा. तो थोड़ी टाइम के लिए आपका स्ट्रैटेजी साइड में छोड़ के किसी का उसका स्ट्रैटेजी फॉलो करो जिसका ऑलरेडी हुआ है. एक महीना भर या 2 महीने वो करके देखो और फिर उसके बाद अपने रिजल्ट्स चेक करो, तो डेफिनेटली हो जाएगा. एंड इट्स नॉट ऑलवेज अबाउट एवरीथिंग अबाउट CAT. You also have some very easy and very other exams like CET or SNAP. So JVMS is one of the best colleges of India. You can go it through CET. So I think हो तो जाएगा. It's not a big deal.
Great, great. Vishal, what is your question? अभी देखो एक चीज what I can say, I can believe that these guys are also very much tired now and we have asked a lot of things and I believe we have got a lot of answers as well. First of all, what I would like to say here that first of all, I am sincerely very grateful to all of you that you have taken some time out to guide these students, and this video is going to be there with all the upcoming batches as well. What I can conclude from the whole discussion in the last 2 hours is that first of all, you need to be consistent and very much disciplined. There is no alternative to that. First thing is that. Second thing, if you would have realized, सब लोगों ने एक चीज जरूर बोली that put emphasis on mocks. It is very, very important. That also you have to do. Number 3, what you can learn from Aditya, Rudra, Mansi has talked about, Sunishta has multiple talked about that you will score less. You will score, for sure, you will score less in mocks and there will be time when you will feel like giving up, but you have to keep going and that is what will give you result. Then number 4, can an average student get into top college? Rajesh, who has scored 40, Rushikesh, who has scored 60, and there are infinite people like this who have scored from something to other, and they all have achieved their dream scores. So you can definitely achieve. They are one of them. They are not special. Is it possible to crack CAT exam in the first attempt? Rudra is the example. You can see he has shared his complete journey. How disciplined is he? And it is very much important. The people, Akash, Archie, Gunjan, they have shared the importance of having a schedule, right? So that is also very much important. But what I believe in a nutshell is that if you are able to be consistent, then half the battle is won already. सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हमारी कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं होगी, क्लास अटेंड करने में नहीं होगी, हमारी कंसिस्टेंसी मॉक्स करने में नहीं होगी, या कंसिस्टेंसी हमारी एनालिसिस करने में नहीं होगी. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज what I could conclude from the whole conversation, if you talk about moments, काफी सारे लोग यहाँ पे मुझे बोलते हैं सर मुझे सिर्फ CAT देना है, but at the end of the day you need a good job, you need a good career, right? That you can get even at XLRI, you can get at NMIMS Mumbai, SIBM Pune. That was the reason that I invited all of these people, that your end goal is not to crack CAT, but the end goal is to get into the dream college. That dream college can be from CAT, ZAT, IFT, NMAT, SNAP, CMAT, CT. There are people who have not performed in all the 5 exams but got 99.99 in CMAT and pursued his MBA from GBIMS. Our student only G. So there are infinite examples like this. So you need to be very much disciplined with your preparation, and do not worry about the gap year. If you are having a gap year, they are having profile issues, you are having extra work X, you are having 0 work X, that all doesn't matter if you score that dream number, which Rajesh also said कि एक बार आपका कोई score आ गया, उसके बाद everything will take care of it by themselves. ठीक है, तो I believe, I hope, I assume that this session was helpful for all of you. हम लोग आपको ये सारी बात बताने की कोशिश करते हैं, but these are the insight because these all students have went through this process and now they are getting into their respective dream colleges, got their dream scores, and I believe they all must have shared a lot of insight which might probably going to stay with you forever. And thank you, Rudra, Vimal, Mansi, Aditi, Aditya, Gaurav, Sunishta, Rushikesh, Rajesh, then Gunjan, Akash, and Archie, who have left due to time constraint, to be a part of this conversation. And you can see the responses that the discussion has changed their perspective. And if any one of them gets to a top college, probably you have also played a part in their journey. So thank you so much to all of you.
At the end, I would like to tell in a lighter note कि एक बार टॉप कॉलेज में आ जाओ तो रेफरल का कोई चक्कर नहीं होगा. There are a lot of students sir has mentored and are in top B schools, तो रेफरल के लिए तुमको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा.
That everything will be taking. मतलब अभी तुम्हारा सिर्फ फोकस होना चाहिए एग्जाम में. विशाल, you can get into that. We have already discussed that you can get into a top college even if you are having 70, 60. As of now, your focus should be to score a dream score in CAT. If you score that, you will definitely land up in top 5, top 7 colleges. So do not worry about your scores. Just focus कि अभी जो CAT में score लाना, that is more important. That is what we have discussed as well. Individually, we have discussed the strategy. And thank you once again, everyone, for taking out time. And so sorry to make you sit for good straight 2 hours after your internship or after a hectic day. But really obliged. Really obliged. Thank you so much. I hope you guys also enjoyed.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
sir,
enjoyed.
definitely.
Thank you for
Yeah,
hosting
Yeah,
us.
sir.
Gaurav sir, and thank you Anubhav sir, actually Derek, for giving us a platform to express us out. So
This
it
is
really
what probably you guys have earned it by yourself. And great. Thank you so much. Looking forward to connect again and interact again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
All
sir.
the
Thanks
best
a
to the
lot.
aspirants.
Thank you, everyone. Good night, guys.
Good
All the
night.
best, everyone. Good night.